titled NFL Bettors Heavily Backing Bengals as 5.5-point underdogs. And they say bettors like the Cincinnati Bengals' chances of covering in Buffalo on Sunday. The Bengals are the most bet team against the spread ahead of the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. Cincy opened as a 3.5-point underdog to the Bills and is now a 5.5-point underdog at BetMGM, despite getting 64% of the bets and 55% of the money bet against the spread. We don't see a lot of these kind of articles. Yahoo Sports, Paul Nolan, certainly not that we pay that much attention to. But that trend definitely seems to be in the numbers we're seeing as well. A lot of public average Joe guys taking the Bengals. They saw the Super Bowl run last year. They saw Burrow did it. They see how quickly the ball's getting out of his hands. They kind of see, again, that small snippet of a game we saw against Buffalo a couple weeks ago where it was 7-3, 14-3, 10 minutes into the game. Buffalo was plus 170 on the line as 2.5-point favorites at that point. Now they're plus 170 at a live betting option in game. So public perception and last thing that people saw lets them to believe that 5.5 is just too much here, and you got to take the points.
Yeah, the public is definitely, seems like the most pros versus Joes, but this week has been a lot of, pros versus pros in terms of, professional gambling groups like us and others. It's been a lot of head-to-head here, and that's going to happen when the field gets narrowed, especially when the matchups are this tight and exciting. It's strange how both the Bills and the Bengals both came in last week, limped their way in. We said it before, we said it earlier that, the Bengals went against a much, probably one of the most ferocious defenses in the league. One of the games we had last week, huge, was Baltimore. We also had Baltimore on the money line at 10% of our bet because we thought they could easily win that game based on the fact that they match up so well. Obviously, the major play by Huntley, that goofy play trying to go over the line, was a game changer. It cost my client some money, but overall they won huge with 9-2 on the weekend overall. But in Bills, the same thing. The Bills' wounds were self-inflicted. They weren't forced. The Bengals were just beaten and bludgeoned to a degree, while this, the Bills just kind of just shot themselves in the foot. And a lot of it was Josh Allen, and he's obviously worth the mistakes that he makes and the indecision he makes, and the goofy mistakes. He makes them, but he carries his whole team. Without him, they are not an elite team. So, I think when you get down to all the minutia and the physical matchups, this is one of the reasons why live betting is so powerful for us and our clients. That's why being a real client makes a difference. But that's why this game is so confusing to the public. They're going to play on a road dog. It makes it interesting to me. You don't really usually see that in the championship games. It's usually you're seeing everyone's home favorite. So it's definitely an outlier based on historical gambling standards, sir. That's really the truth.
Yeah. The thing about Cincinnati, and I go back to even the Tampa Bay game, the offensive line right now is seemingly a disaster. A lot of injuries like we talked about. And even going back to week 15 against Tampa Bay, you look up at the scoreboard, you see 34 points. But all of it, it's like the worst 34 you've ever seen. It's all due to Tampa Bay turnovers. They were still averaging only 4 yards per play during that stretch in the second half. So I think there's a lot of a recency bias and a little misjudging on kind of the overall top line numbers when it comes to the Cincinnati offense. So I think all of that is really what makes this game the most interesting game of the week. And guys, we have both games on a free recorded message right now, 888-366-3733. But it's time for free plays, and I will go first. Paul Nolan, I'm going to the NBA. I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets tonight plus the points over the Golden State Warriors. Brooklyn plus the points over Golden State. What do you got?
Wow, that's very interesting. You're going back to the drawing board. You keep winning with them. Very impressive. I'm going to kind of keep my free picks to myself, and I want guys to call today. I've given away a lot over the air this year. I have nothing that's not going to give away my best bets, so I want people to call and be part of what we're doing because, we've earned it, we deserve it, and you deserve it as well. So give us a call right now. We're definitely winning our college games in hoops, and we're definitely winning the NFL, so don't miss the boat. You missed it yesterday. Don't miss it today.
888-366-3733, 888-366-3733. Cincy Buffalo, Dallas, San Francisco on the free recorded message right now. Call 888-366-FREE over at freewinners.net. Michigan State, Indiana, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota, Michigan. $49 gets you all three, guaranteed to be profitable, or you get your 49 back. 888-366-3733. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. We'll see you next weekend for more of the freewinners.net radio show. All right, point spread players, here we go. Huge divisional Sunday on tap, and we've got both games covered for you. Cincinnati at Buffalo, 3 p.m. kick. Buffalo, 5.5-point favorite. Your total set at 49. Dallas, San Francisco, 6:30 p.m. kick. San Francisco -4, 46.5 is your total. We've got both games, both plays on a free recorded message right now for all callers. Call 888-366-3733. 888-366-3733. Guys, if you missed out on a huge Saturday, do not miss the boat today. We've got bankroll building games early in college basketball, and then football today. We will dominate. Cincinnati and Buffalo game number 1, Dallas, San Francisco game number 2. Both games on a free recorded message. Call right now, 888-366-3733, 888-366-3733. Not only football though today, college basketball will dominate. Paul Nolan over at freewinners.net, a guaranteed $49 college basketball trio.
Guys, hey Siri, take me to freewinners.net. Sign up, $49, 3-0, guaranteed. If you don't go 3-0 or 2-1, we'll give you your money back instantly. But I can promise you right now, you're going 3-0 for only $49. Plus, you're going to get all of my best bets in the NFL today as well.
888-366-3733, 888-366-3733. Cincy, Buffalo, Dallas, San Francisco on a free recorded message. Michigan State, Indiana, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota, and Michigan over at freewinners.net, 63733. Cincy, Buffalo, Dallas, San Francisco, a huge divisional Sunday. Do not miss it. 888-366-FREE is the number to call. 888-366-3733.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Championship game, baby. They're going. The Eagles are an absolute wagon. Night, New York Giants. Take the bus ride back to Jersey. Get your running water back and take the rest of your offseason to think about how you just got smoked. The Philadelphia Eagles are an absolute wagon. They're
Get your running water back. What does that mean?
You didn't see about the hotel?
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like ages ago, man.
I know, right? That game makes you forget about everything that happened the rest of the day yesterday. Now, for the record, Sixers won, Flyers won, Union won a preseason game. I think the Wings got smoked. Who knows? Shout out the Wings for allowing the tailgaters to get there early, though. It was a perfect Philadelphia day. And, of course, capped off by just a playoff win for the ages. Connor Thomas and Tom Alvord here. This is essentially Eagles postgame because last night we had the Sixers on these airwaves and then ran into syndication. So we are your first live show since that game. All your reactions, you could jump in 610-632-0975. We are going to be rocking all day here on 97.5 The Fanatic with your Eagles reaction, with a look ahead to the NFC Championship game. Just, oh my goodness. It's hard to even collect your thoughts after watching a game like that because there's so much to get into. There's so much that the Eagles did well. You can check us out on YouTube, by the way, 97.5 The Fanatic's YouTube page. We're on there. I'm sure the YouTube's going to be bumping. I'm sure the phone lines are going to be popping. Get in with your reaction, yelling, Eagles chants, everything. I want it all today because the Eagles gave you everything last night. Everything. They're unbelievable. There is not a damn thing this team doesn't do at an elite level. They're so good. Listen, I'm going to level with you right off the bat. That Giants team that they played last night is not that good of a football team. They're okay. They're what their record says they were. Slightly above 500, We knew Minnesota was fugazi. That's the reason that the Giants ended up in the NFC divisional round. But for all of the faults that Giants team has, they were not as bad this year as the Eagles made them look last night. And that's what an elite level football team does. They take good teams and make them look like they should be playing in the Big Ten. Like they should not be on a professional field with a team of that caliber. And man, it was a party from the start. I want to hear from people who went to the game, who were at Lincoln Financial Field last night. I see we already got the phone lines lighting up. I want to hear from
You think those
everybody.
people are up this early?
Oh, I mean, listen, I wouldn't blame them
The
if they're
long
not.
tailgate yesterday.
But I could also see people who didn't go to bed last night.
That's true.
That was a stay up and watch the highlights and drink and party through the night and just drink it in. Enjoy it. And I'm not
Literally.
talking about the alcohol. I mean, yeah, I'm sure plenty of people literally drank it in all day yesterday, starting before the sun came up. But, man, it was a celebration. We talk about, and we will talk about forever, until the day I leave this earth, I will talk about the NFC Championship game in 2017. Well, I guess it was 2018, against the Minnesota Vikings that ended, what was the score of that one?
I think it was 38-7, top of my head.
And when I think about that game, I think of an environment that could never be matched. And I don't know that I could put last night in the same stratosphere because it was the divisional round, and you've got more steps to go, and you have not punched your ticket to the Super Bowl yet. But, man, for it to be the same score, for it to be the same time of game, for it to just be that type of environment at the tailgate, and for the Eagles to put in that type of performance – that Minnesota Vikings game from 5 years ago, literally yesterday, crazy that it's 5 years on the day, too. Just nuts how the universe...
The world is weird. Yeah, the universe is weird.
We're certainly in a simulation. But it's... I would have thought that could never be replicated. And then last night, well, damn, they went out and did it. And it was... There was no doubt at any point in that game that the Eagles were going to come out victorious. Now, for us, Tom... Well, I'll say for me, because I don't know how you were feeling all week, but for me, there was no doubt even prior to the game that the Eagles were coming out of that with a win. And I thought they were going to win handedly. But I did not think that it was going to be that much of a blowout. And maybe that's shame on me. And frankly, it's shame on a lot of people, and I'm not saying specifically any Eagles fans, I'm not even saying specifically fans of other teams, just people in general. There are a lot of people who were, if you're a fan of the team, nervous. Hey, it's a playoff opponent. You got to respect the playoff opponent. You got to respect the Giants. It's a divisional team. They played pretty damn well in Minnesota. Give them their due. They made it here. And then there were all of the naysayers and haters from other teams and the talking heads in the national media that are saying, oh, well, the Eagles look bad down the stretch in the regular season. We hadn't seen them be this team that they were last night in probably about a month and change. Who knows how healthy Jalen Hurts is? Who knows how healthy Lane Johnson is? Yeah, throw that all out the window. Throw that all out the window. Shame on us for having any shades of doubt when it comes to this team's ability to win football games. They're unbelievable, Tom. They really are. I don't know any other way to put it.
They're incredible. They truly, truly are incredible. Last night was a reminder and a confirmation with just how good this football team is. Listen, this last month or so hasn't been the most fun. Between Gardner Minshew being at quarterback, between the last Week 18 game against the same Giants, kind of, different players, but same Giants team, where Hurts looks a little rusty, offensive game plan and play calling leaves a lot to be desired. People walked into these playoffs with their tails between their legs, it seemed like, at least going in, and then as the week goes on
And
and
not
the days
everybody,
go on.
not everybody. But there were people
out there.
who were very nervous about this game and what the Eagles had looked like for a little bit. And the coaches what's the
especially.
game plan
Yes.
going to be. I'll tell you what, it was perfect.
Yesterday, it was as close to perfect as it could have been, man. It was incredible. I mean, Jalen Hurts, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, 16 for 24. He did that, I feel like, all in the first half because they barely threw in the second half because they didn't need to. The running game, historic. Again, how many historic performances have we seen from this running game this season? Whether it's Jalen Hurts, whether it's Miles Sanders, whether it's Kenny Gainwell putting up 112 yards in a playoff game yesterday, whether it's Boston Scott. Don't tell Wink Martindale, the Giant Slayer, the Giant Killer, Boston Scott. It's every single week with this team, with Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback, It feels like a historic performance. It feels like nothing we've seen before. 44 carries, 268 bleeping yards on the ground in a playoff game with 3 touchdowns to go along with it. Connor, this game wasn't close. Yes, Giants came in a little bit hot, even though they were 3-6-1 in their last 10 games heading into the playoffs. Yes, they were the trendy, sexy pick from the national media to upset the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles had none of that. None of that. That looked like a team that can beat anybody in the NFL in any given week. And that's what this Eagles team has been all season long. So that's why yesterday, despite how we were feeling, some of us were feeling potentially heading into that game, I had no doubt in my mind that they were winning this football game. I thought it would be a little bit closer just because of Russ. You haven't played in 2 weeks. How's Lane going to look? How's Jalen Hurts going to look? Pretty damn good. That's the answer to those questions. So even though I thought it was going to be close coming into that game, throughout the game, I had no doubt that this football team was going to win that game. And that was a confirmation to the NFL world, to Philadelphia, to everybody, that the Eagles are a Super Bowl contending team and should be the Super Bowl favorite after that performance.
It was, I'm not even going to say almost. It was too perfect. It's like scarily perfect. You could not have, if you had asked me to write the perfect script for last night's game, I wouldn't have written it as perfectly as the Eagles made it happen. James Bradbury getting an interception against a team that let him go. Sorry, voice a little bit shot this morning. Apologies.
Long night yesterday.
Long day in general. Actually, not too long of a night because I was telling you, I went out for the game. I was out at a bar, and by halftime, we have to watch the game because we do this for a living. We're going to come in and talk about it, and you can't just be incoherent watching the game. You got to know what happens. I'm sure there are a lot of people who were incoherent for parts of that game, but by halftime, it was take the governor off. Let the motor run. You can do whatever because this game's over. You're up 28-0. It's unbelievable. I went to bed right after the game. Didn't go out after because I got after
Very
it so much
responsible of you. Good
in
job.
the second half. It was more so I ran out of gas. I'm also getting old. We talked about it.
Very true.
But yeah, the game was in hand pretty much from the jump.
Yes, it was.
I know a 7-0 football game. You can't say, okay, well, this is over, but it was over. It was now, not to get too much into the minutia of it because I want to do a more overview of the game first, but we talked about on the John Kincaid show on Friday morning when we were out at Rally House on location. Do the Eagles defer if they win the coin toss, or do they choose to receive the ball and get the offense out there first and get the stadium going? And John Kincaid, a huge proponent of getting the ball first. I would have deferred, but they didn't win the toss. The Giants did, and the Eagles end up getting the ball first, and you just drive right down. Like
and first play, by the way, or second play it might have been.
Yes, second play, Devontae Smith.
Oh, Hurts doesn't look rusty at all.
That was beautiful.
And that sets up everything because now the Giants, okay, his deep ball's back. We can't just sit underneath. We can't just play intermediate routes and stuff like that. We have to be prepared for the deep ball. You get it out of the way that quick. You get confidence into Hurts that quick. It was perfect from the start.
That was where, for me, that was okay, it's done. Because
let's throw to Devontae Smith?
The only path for the Giants beating the Eagles last night was if Jalen Hurts' shoulder is messed up.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And he's clearly healthy. I hesitate to say perfectly healthy because I imagine he's sore today. He's feeling it a little bit in the shoulder. But
he said good enough in the post-conference. How his shoulder's feeling. Press conference.
You can say that again, Jalen. He looked good enough last night. I'm rocking my Hurts jersey right now. I'm sure a lot of people out there are rocking the number 1. You know, I saw, actually, in respect to these people, big-time respect. My buddy has one. Saw a couple others at the bar last night. If you have the Jalen Hurts number 2 jersey,
it's a good jersey.
Big-time respect.
Yes.
That's like the OG mark right there.
Because you believed in that guy from the beginning. Yes, exactly.
And, man, has he proven the people who believed in him and the people who gave him a shot in this organization 100% right. He's unbelievable. He has looked like, through the playoffs so far, and I know only 1 game for him, but 2 games for everyone else besides the Kansas City Chiefs, for the teams that are still around and surviving. He's the best quarterback that's been on a field since the playoffs started. He has been. He played the best game. The Eagles are the best team that's been on a field since the playoffs started. I don't know how you can look at that team and not have them be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I don't know how you can watch last night and see any team that's as good as them. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to lose any given Sunday. There are teams that are much closer in skill level to them than the New York Giants that they're going to have to play. Two will play today in the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, and you will face them on at what time? Next Sunday?
Next Sunday, 3 p.m.
I wish they had the night game, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take 3 p.m. It feels like it takes a little bit of the juice out of the game that's going to be in the afternoon.
We'll find some juice somewhere. Don't worry.
Philadelphia will find some juice. That's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fight juice day, where you just
riot punch.
That's what it is. Where you just got to get going early. But man, I run out of superlatives to heap on this Philadelphia Eagles team, because you could say anything positive about them and you'd be right now. This is not an anointing of them, because there's still a road to go. You are 1/3 of the way there. You are 33% through the expected and the deserved, I'll say, playoff run, which would be win this round, NFC Championship game win, Super Bowl win. Only 33% of the way there, so work to be done. But that first step, man, they took it loudly last night.
That looked like a team who was reading and hearing all the negatives said about them for the last month, especially from the national media, where it's, hey, this team's not nearly as good as their record shows. Hey, this team, cute, 1 seed, you got it, quick out in the playoffs. Giants, man, they're playing really good. Look how they played against Minnesota. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row in one season, which is not when we look at the numbers of it. But that looks like that team yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles last night, looked like a team that heard and read all that negativity about them. And we're sitting there like, what are you guys talking about? We won 14 games this year.
Do you know who we are?
We lost 1 game with our starting quarterback, who should have won MVP if he doesn't go down and miss the last 2 games or 2 of the last 3 games of the season. That's what it looked like yesterday. That was a reminder to everyone out there, and maybe to themselves even a little bit, is, hey, that's how good of a football team we are. And the best thing about them is they do it in so many different ways. You mentioned Jalen Hurts, and yes, the stats aren't crazy numbers or anything like that. 154 yards passing. That doesn't exactly wow you.
2 scores, though. No picks.
Exactly.
Took care of the ball.
Made throws when they needed to be made smart decisions, did not look rusty, did not look injured to me. A big thing when it came to Jalen Hurts, because we're all worried. We're all looking how that shoulder's going to look. How is he going to look? There was one play in particular. He goes down, ran the ball 9 times yesterday, by the way. So only 34 yards, but still gets a touchdown in there.
They trusted him to run, and he trusted himself. Yes.
Exactly. There was a play. He goes down, and he gets lifted up by his teammate. And when your arm's bothering you, say your right arm's bothering you, and you get lifted up, you would tend to grab your left hand, the opposite side of the arm that is bothering you, because you don't want to mess with it. You know it's tender, whatever it may be. Gets picked up by his right hand. The right shoulder was good to go. As soon as I saw that, I was like, he's good. He's good right there. Obviously, you see it with the Devontae Smith throw and everything like that, but he gets picked up by that arm that was bothering him, by that shoulder that was bothering him, and he looked tremendous. I look at the run game, as I mentioned, the receiving game. Devontae Smith might be the most underrated receiver in all of football. I know A.J. Brown's
very
here.
Possible.
He might be the most underrated receiver in all of football, because that dude is tremendous. You look at the run game. Saquon Barkley, 61 yards, 39 of them on 1 carry. Daniel Jones, everyone worried about, how's he going to look? You got to worry about his legs. 24 yards on the ground. Was not good at all through the air. 15 for 27, 135 yards. And how about that defense, man? And I know we're going to talk about a ton of this, everything, as the show goes on. The defense, Jonathan Gannon, give him some credit. Give that defensive line credit. Give the corners credit. Everybody stepped up. This was a team win, and that's what makes me feel so confident about this team going forward. They can do it in so many different ways. They can beat you in so many different ways, and that's what was so awesome about last night.
It was, I keep saying perfect. It was perfect. Down to the score, 38-7. The Bradbury pick, the Boston Scott touchdown.
Sirianni's just toying with us.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so good that they can just force feed a guy a 5-6 running back touchdowns against a specific team because they own them.
Speaking of feeling yourself, he was feeling himself last night. Well deserved, too.
Did you see him in the locker room with the chains on and everything?
Yep,
on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's Instagram Live?
He's nodding. He's cursing out refs. He cursed on the post-game show last night or the press conference.
Did he? I didn't see that.
He slipped one. Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy or anything like that.
Say the word. What did he say? No, I'm just kidding. Don't.
Bleep.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. He was feeling himself, and he deserved to feel himself after yesterday and this entire season.
It was, they did everything so darn well. And you know what? And we're going to get into it a little bit coming up. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. We're going to open up the phone lines on the other side with your reaction to the Eagles going to the NFC Championship game. Oh, my goodness. It's still...
Dude, one win away from the Super Bowl.
One win away from the Super Bowl.
One win away from the Super Bowl. Could you imagine? And it's confidence right now. Like, we're feeling good. This isn't, sneak your way in. This isn't, we got lucky or we're team of destiny, whatever. No, this is just a damn good football team who has a shot at the Super Bowl. One win away. I can't believe we're saying it. I tweeted it last night. I know because they've been so good but it still feels surreal a little bit that they are one win away from the Super Bowl.
But it shouldn't. They're that good. And we talked about it. And you said before we came in here, we were talking out in the prep area, and you said you feel like you felt all year. I said, okay, well, not all year, because we didn't think coming into the season, we thought they had the possibility to be a really good football team.
Most people were thinking NFC East, win one playoff game, and you're done. That's what a lot of people were thinking this season, coming into the season.
At least as a goal, right?
Yeah.
We didn't expect them to turn into the single greatest Philadelphia Eagles football team we've ever seen on the face of this planet. But that's what they are. That's what this team is.
They play like last night? Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of outcome, talent-wise, this is the best Eagles team they've ever had. This is the best we've ever witnessed. I have no doubt in my mind that is factual.
Most wins in franchise history.
And
1,000-yard rusher, 2,000-yard receivers, 4 guys with double-digit sacks, an MVP at quarterback. You're not crazy.
No, I don't think the defensive line's incredible. The secondary is unbelievable. You have a guy who led the league in interceptions.
You have 2 all-pro cornerbacks. And you have a guy that led the league in interceptions even though he missed half the season.
You have everything.
Everything.
And if you put it all together, they're very hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. And last night, the Philadelphia Eagles put it all together. And I'll tell you what, this is, in so many ways, a weight lifted off the shoulders of Nick Sirianni, of Jalen Hurts, because not that the game was ever in question last night. They dominated them. But you lose that game, you turn into Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, we're really fun in the regular season. We're really good in games 1 through 17. And then in the postseason, something changes. And Jalen Hurts can't read a defense, and you can't get it done, and the competition gets tougher, and the stress level rises, and they can't cut it. That's what was on the line if you lost that game last night. It was never in doubt over the course of play, but going into the game, that is what is at stake. And they left no doubt last night. One of my favorite movies of all time, Remember the Titans. Leave no doubt is one of the great lines in that movie. The Eagles left no doubt last night that they are who we watched all year long, the best damn team in football. 610-632-0975. Coming up next, we're going to get into a little bit of a discussion about both sides of the ball, the offense, the defense. I have one that stood out to me infinitely more than the other. And maybe that's not fair to the other side because both sides of the ball, special teams as well, played a near perfect game last night. But to me, there's a calling card of this Philadelphia Eagles team, and it has been all year. And maybe I'm biased because this is the part of the game that I like better. But we'll get into it. We'll discuss the sides of the ball and which one was more impressive to you last night. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord, Eagles reaction as they get ready to host the NFC Championship game. More coming up next after this, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. All offers on approved credit. Plus tax 452.3.
It's New Year, new car.
Woo-hoo!
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Woo-hoo!
Boy, I guess.
Easy, boy. Here we go.
New year, new car.
And they're off.
World-famous Gary Barberas is storming out of the gate, and you can too in America's favorite from $12,990. Yes, from $12,990.
It's our first sale of the year with Jeeps Cheap. And that's why Birds coach Nick picks Barbera.
Boy, I guess.
Just $199 down for only $199 a month. Gary Barbera discounts Jeeps cheap.
And oh yeah, DallasStillSucks.com.
New year, new car.
It's our first sale of the year. Going Cherokee.
Crazy. From rows and rows of Borbeck in the Boulevard. Jeep's cheap, just $199 down, or only $199 a month.
Right, Birds Coach Nick?
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. Go Birds!
Dallas still sucks.com.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here, and the NFL playoffs are heating up. And now with FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, every play is a rush. New customers join today and bet the divisional round with $150 in free bets, guaranteed, when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do is sign up with promo code BOB, and you know all the fun things you can do with FanDuel. Why, you can go with your money line bets to your point spreads, and of course, we all love our player props. And you can even combine your bets for a chance at an even bigger payout with a same-game parlay, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with promo code BOB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed. And a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Hey, it's pro football playoff time. It's the best time of the year. John Kincaid telling you it's been a great year for the Birds, and I want you to join the action in the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. It's got you and me covered for pro football playoffs. Plus, with pro and college hoops and so much more, you get the odds, the bets, the slots, and the games right there in the palm of your hand. And it's safe, it's secure, and it's easy to use. The official sportsbook for the real Philly sports fan. I know this. You can bet on more than just the score. Individual player performances let you cash in. And live in-game wagering lets you bet during the game. So come on in and join me on the BetParks app. And new users can get up to $750 in sportsbook bonus back if your first bet isn't a winner. So download it today and start playing instantly with the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. Now, you got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. See BetParks.com to get full terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Shop 15 dealers with in-stock boats ready to deliver at the Philly Boat Show, January 27 through 29 at the Expo Center at Oaks. Details at phillyboatshow.com.
Stop into your neighborhood AAA Car Care Center for a winterization package and get a tire rotation, standard oil change, new windshield wipers, and a fluid check. All for just $64.99. Only at AAA Car Care Centers. See store for details.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere. On Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, The Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. We're all here for the same reason. Philadelphia sports. 97.5 The Fanatic.
.30 here at 97.5 The Fanatic, and the Philadelphia Eagles are set to host the NFC Championship game for the second time in 5 years. Man, what a turnaround this organization has gone through since that 2017-2018 Super Bowl run. Different coach, different quarterback, a lot of different faces, and a complete rebuild, and one dark season, and a whole bunch of drama in between, and yet they're right back. And they're hosting the NFC Championship game. It's absolutely incredible. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord, we have your reaction to last night's Eagles drubbing of the New York Giants, the second 38-7 game. It's incredible. It doesn't make it less special that it's the same score as because you can't call it the 38-7 game, because Minnesota will always be the 38-7 game.
No, it makes it more special just because of how that season ended and how dominant that game was.
Is it a sign? Are you a big signs person?
Hey, I'm a big signs guy.
Okay.
And that it happens 5 years to the day on the exact same day. It's pretty incredible.
Listen, man, the world works in mysterious ways. And the fact that happened, it's sweet poetry. It's almost scripted.
Another reason to feel really good as these playoffs go along. You know what I mean? Like, You get a 38-7 win over a hated rival 5 years to the day. After a 38-7 win that leads you to the Super Bowl. Not that I wasn't already feeling great about this team going forward. That just adds to it a bit.
Oh, it certainly does. It certainly does. By the way, we're also on YouTube on 97.5 The Fanatic's YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check it out. South Jersey Jack just asked, when is Avonte Maddox coming back? Maddox was trying to get ready to go for this game, so certainly possible he's available for the NFC Championship game. If I'm being honest with you, he's got to be like 100% healthy, because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson looks so good in the slot last night with Reed Blankenship playing safety. Like that defense setup is great to me. They're better with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson over Reed Blankenship and Avonte Maddox in the slot because Avonte is so good in that spot if he's healthy. But if he's not, I have no issue with them trotting the defense out, just like how they employed it last night against the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not healthy and he's kind of forcing himself back, and you can tell that he's not the same Avonte Maddox, like if he's maybe 60% instead of like 85% or something like that, I'm just throwing out numbers, then yeah, I'm content with him sitting out and not playing next week because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, has been so good, and Reed Blankenship has made plays since he's been here, stepping up in that safety position as the backup safety. So, yeah, if he's closer to 60% and he's not going to look the same and he's actually going to hurt the team, then I'm fine with him being out. But if he's 80% and he's ready to go and it's not going to look any different, that's just how good this team is, that they're without one of the best slot corners in the league, and they're still dominating teams like a playoff team like the New York Giants yesterday.
Absolutely. It was incredible. They should have had probably 2 more interceptions. They had really good shots at more picks. And Daniel Jones doesn't throw interceptions. He just doesn't. He's been very good this year at not taking dangerous chances.
Correct. Doesn't take a ton of shots, but he does take care of the football.
That's one thing that the Giants always did really, really well this year that helped them get to where they were, is they took care of the football. And the Eagles, the best turnover team in football this year, went ahead and they turned the ball over last night, or they turned the Giants over last night with that pick by James Bradbury, and that really helped set the tone early. Not that the offense hadn't really done it already, and that's what I want to get into here. To me, last night, the offense was infinitely more impressive than the defense. And maybe that's biased because the average fan, I feel like, watches the offense more than they watch the defense. You're more excited to see points on the board than you are to see like a nice tackle on a 2-yard run by the other team. I think that's just the natural inclination of the fan, especially in today's game where you got guys throwing for 4,000 yards every year and putting up 35 touchdowns, and it's incredibly fast-paced offense. Like, offense is the calling card of the NFL right now. That is how you win championships, with a great quarterback who can produce really good offense. So maybe I'm biased in that. But last night when I watched that game, and the defense played incredibly. Like, they only gave up 7 points, and that was who cares? We're already up 28-0 on you. Sure, take one. Doesn't really matter. Not a big deal. And it was a nice drive by the Giants, and they ran some trickery with the Daniel Jones going slot out and running a direct snap to Saquon Barkley. They whatever. It wasn't like there was blown coverage or anything on it. It wasn't a big play. No, it's just the defense played really well. But I look at what the offense did yesterday and the way that they just pounded the football. They ran it down the Giants' throat. And when I looked this morning at the box score, honestly, the first time I saw the box score was this morning as we were prepping for the show, because late game last night, went right to bed, was out watching the game, so I wasn't like checking the stats or everything, especially because it wasn't that close of a game. But when I saw that the Eagles had 154 yards through the air, I was dumbfounded because it felt like so much more. But you were right, Tom. You brought it up. They didn't really take any deep shots outside of that second play of the game to Devontae Smith. They didn't have to.
They didn't need to.
But I saw that, and I was like, it felt like they threw for more. It felt like Dallas Goedert had like 200 yards receiving. It felt like Devontae Smith had like 150. I didn't realize until they started showing A.J. Brown on the broadcast later on in the game that he had as quiet of a night as he did. 6 targets, 3 receptions, 22 yards. Nothing crazy for A.J. Brown. I don't know that you could call that being held in check, because I think it is more so they didn't need to employ him like they normally do. So I don't want to say that it was the Giants taking away A.J. Brown, but frankly, he didn't do anything last night, and you still put up 38 on him. You got touchdowns from Boston Scott, from Dallas Goedert, from Kenneth Gainwell. What a game by Kenneth Gainwell.
Where'd
Who
that
saw
come
that
from?
coming?
Yeah, seriously. Are you kidding me?
Just unbelievable.
Gainwell, who's, I'll say it, he's been a little bit disappointing as the backup running back here, but that's just how good Miles Sanders has been. But you see some of these later round picks that turn into really good running backs, a little bit disappointing. But it was, I believe, the Cowboys game where he played a really, really good game there, and then you go out and have a 100-plus yard rushing game. The backup running back, great sign for not just this season, not just things going forward this season, but potentially next season as well, and a guy that we can count on. Where the hell did that come from?
I mean, he has those games, though, right? For his faults, which I'm not even sure I'll call him faults. He's just not the impact level that we thought he could be when he came out. Memphis guy, right? Came out of Memphis?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. So you expected him to be more of in the passing game, be more of an impact guy. But he does have those games where he'll have like 2 touchdowns out of nowhere. Or he'll have like rip off like a nice 40-yard catch out of the backfield or a run. So he has a little bit of ability. Last night, you know what last night reminded me of? The way that they employed their running backs on the offensive side of the ball.
What's that?
It reminded me of Corey Clement, LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi.
No matter who was touching the rock, they were getting 5 yards every single carry.
And it's just like, okay, well, Gainwell's going to go for 10. And then Miles Sanders is going to come in and break off 2 for like 8 each. And then Boston Scott's going to come in and pound it in. It was just, it felt like 2017. It really did. And that was a Super Bowl winning team for a very good reason. This team is good enough to do that very same thing. 610-632-0975. Let's open up the phones. We're starting in Northeast Philly with Tyree. Tyree, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
So nobody's coming to South Philly and winning.
No
I
shot.
was there last night. The building's electric, but not only that, what the Eagles do to you is we don't blow teams out. We wear them out because we have big human beings on both sides of the ball that just move people. And I'm watching that last night, and I got friends that are Giants fans. And they're like, our defensive line, we got this guy and this guy. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't faced our offensive line. You haven't faced our defensive line. You haven't faced our secondary. For every other team playing good, the Niners, all them, I get it. They all have talent. We match up with all of them, and we just had the dogs. And then not only that, we got a quarterback that's got Sirianni said it in the press conference last night. He's like that Jordan complex. All Jalen Hurts cares about is winning, and you see it. And no matter which way it goes, whether he's throwing for 250 or 300, or he's rushing for 100 yards, or we rush for 260, we're going to win the game when he's back there. And I just don't see anybody beating us in South Philly. I don't care who it is. Everybody's talking about, I'd much rather play this one. I don't care who you bring here. They're going home with it now.
No, you're right, Tyree. Now, let me ask you about the game last night, because this is the first time we've taken calls on the airwaves since the game happened. Do you tailgate? Do you get there early? What was it like down there? I got there
about an hour and a half. But it's Philadelphia. Even the other fans understand it, and they've seen it. I was talking to the Giants fans, and they're like, it's playoff football is different here.
It is.
It's electric. That's only. And then as you're walking up, I sat in 207, so we're taking that escalation up there, and then you see the whole city, and you're overlooking everything. You see all the green everywhere, and it's just a different feeling. And I wish every fan of football could come to Philadelphia, or just every fan of sports could come to Philadelphia and experience it, and they would understand it. It was a great night, and just walking in, it was a great. It was cold, but it wasn't too cold. It was a perfect night for football. I felt it. I felt it all week. Everybody was talking, and I was hearing it, and we were being humble. Everybody was being cautiously optimistic this week. We got to keep it. They could keep it close. They're playing, but we're the better team. We are the apex predator in the NFL, and there's nobody that I'm scared of coming into South Philly. I just keep saying that. People are like, you're just being a fan. No, I'm watching this. I sat there and break this down, and there's no way that you're possibly beating that team.
Tyree, it says here, obviously, we have your name, where you're from, and then your comments, what you want to talk about on this phone, or the call screen or whatever. It says, feels like 2017 all over again. Is it going to be the same result?
I believe so. I went to the Falcons game in 2017, and the floor was shaking, and I remember leaving there nobody's coming there. I don't care who you think you are, what you got. It's the same thing. And that defense, I understand it's the Giants. They don't have the horses to run the race and all that. But even if it's, we have all-pro cornerbacks. We have, all-pro defensive linemen. We have a plethora of talent. It's not just not one guy. Every other team I hear about, they say one guy's name, and I go, yeah, but we got this guy, and this guy. You got one, we got two. You're not going to be able to. I'm over the moon about it, because I honestly think we are going to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm not scared. The years past with Andy Reid, we wouldn't say the S word. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, you can say it now. Tyree, appreciate the call, man. Glad you enjoyed the game last night. No way you couldn't, but that's some good insight on what it was like down there at Lincoln Financial Field. I want to hear so much more about what the stadium was like, what you did before the game, the folks down there, the tailgate. I want to hear from somebody that bought a ticket to the damn Wings game so they could tailgate starting at 8 a.m. I want to hear it all, because what a day in Philadelphia it was.
Obviously, we're giving the Philadelphia Eagles a ton of credit today. Can I give credit to the Philadelphia Eagles as an organization? What do they like to do?
Of course you can.
They like to build through the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. The offensive line and defensive line won them that game last night, and they won them a ton of games this season. The offensive line got pushed for the running backs like crazy, like nothing we've seen. Or it is something we've seen, because it seems like we see it every single week. Running backs, when you average 6.1 yards per carry on 44 carries, Jalen Hurts was protected all night long. And then you look at the defensive line, who racks up, 5 sacks yesterday? Hassan Reddick, 3 QB hits, 1.5 sacks by himself.
Dude, he was early in the game when he had that hit on Daniel Jones, and he's just screaming, shaking his head and screaming into the crowd at Lincoln Financial Field. That was just, this is a dude who's from here. There's some guys who celebrate I'm a football player. I made a big play. Let's go, pumping up the crowd, flexing. And then there are dudes from the area that, like, you could tell.
They just get it.
It's not even a thing to get. They just have it. Like, they just know. It's ingrained in them how to, like, what this means to the city. And Hassan Reddick is one of those guys.
That dude has been worth every penny that he was paid this offseason. But yes, build through the trenches. That's what the Eagles have done pretty much my entire lifetime. It won them the game last night. It's won them games all season long, and it's probably going to win them games going forward for the rest of these playoffs.
610-632-0975. Let's go back to the phones. Talk to Tom in Alabama. Tom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
What's up, man?
Yes,
What's
Tom.
going on,
Man,
Tommy?
You sound fired up this morning, Tom. How about that game last night?
Man, I ain't even been to sleep, man.
You're not the only
they
one.
Lost, I would have stayed up, and if they win, I stay up because, you know, we were talking about building within the draft. If you take a look at not this year's draft, the one before, Smith, Dickerson, Milton Williams, Gainwell, all coming through last night, and you build your draft through the lines, like Tom said. You know, Hurts the year before, this year with Brown, Davis, you know, they're all playing key roles. And the deal is that the Eagles, I'm always a proponent of if you get the coin flip, you get the ball and you take it down the field, especially this team, which they did. Now, Brian Gable, who was, you know, I think he was a pretty good hire, but what he did to the Giants fans, the organization, the owners, the stockholders, is third down, okay, on their first possession.
Yeah.
He gets blown up, Jones, okay. Then this genius not only decides to go for it. Maybe if you do go for it, call a timeout, man. And then Reddick blows him up again. That was it. That was the end of the show. Fade to black. They were done after that. He cost his team right there in the first quarter, the first possession.
Tom, I can't believe they went for it. I was saying when I was watching it, like, what in the world are they doing? Going for the 4th and 8, I believe it was. Like, what in the world? That is a team that knows that they are majorly overmatched. You don't see the Kansas City Chiefs do that. You don't see the Buffalo Bills do that. You don't see the Philadelphia Eagles do that. But that is when the Giants tell you they are not beat, but they know that they are overmatched, that they've got to do something special to win the game. And frankly, if you're going to come in South Philadelphia, you're going to have to do something special to knock this team out.
Well, I'll tell you, there's 4 or 5 guys here, and I can't give enough credit to the kicker who's been there, Jake Elliott. You got Kelsey, Johnson, BG, and Lane. These 4 guys are the core of 17. Honestly, this looks like a better team as far as the roster. We got this madman Reddick, who was a great signing. I mean, he got Howie Roseman. If anybody calls this station or any other station and knocks Howie Roseman, let alone Jonathan Gannon, I don't know what the hell you expect these guys to do, because I'm going to tell you right now, one way or the other, we're going to the Super Bowl big time. Sports Talk Radio.
Love it. That's right, Tommy. That's right, Tom. Appreciate the call. Tom from Alabama, fired up this morning. 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. Man, there was a point where he was just listing names of players there. But it's funny. You look at the moves. A couple years ago, we were running Howie Roseman out of town. And I think rightfully so for the performance he had put in following 2017. Like, after 2017, it was a blow-up of the organization and not a planned one of hey, we're going to try and rebuild. No, you're forced into a rebuild by a lot of questionable moves. And now you look over the past 2-3 years, in one hand, hold the impact players that he's brought in. The other one, hold the players that he's signed or drafted with premium picks. I'm not talking like 6th, 7th rounders or traded for that haven't made an impact. There's like none in the latter category.
Well, and it's not just making the big splash signing, the big splash draft pick, whether it's Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Hassan Reddick, James Bradbury. It's finding the other guys as well. It's finding guys like Landon Dickerson in the 2nd round. It's finding guys like T.J. Edwards late and then re-signing them to a 1-year deal. And T.J. Edwards has been one of their best players on defense this season. Kaiser White, finding guys like Linval Joseph and like Ndamukong Suh. He's been tremendous these past 2 years. He has had like 2 bad moves in the past 2 years. It was Ryan Kerrigan and Robert Quinn. And I'm not going to complain about 2 little moves like that because you're trying to go for it. Those are veteran-type guys. Howie Roseman, and I was a guy that wanted him out of here because it was ugly from 2018 on. Howie Roseman has had a huge hand, maybe the biggest hand, in where the Eagles are as a football team right now.
Unbelievable work by the GM. Unbelievable work by just about everybody involved in this organization.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
From Thomas Peterson on Twitter. 20 sacks through 18 games, his last 18 games. 20 sacks his last 18 games.
That's pretty darn good.
Not terrible.
That's not bad. Pretty good. 610-632-0975. I want to get this call in here, too, because we talked to him earlier this week. Tim from San Diego, or at least I talked to him, was in town for the game. Tim, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Oh, it took 21 hours to get here, but it was worth every minute of it. I got to tell you, we were sitting off the field, 3 rows off the field, and you could just see the Eagles pummeling them on the line. I think we could have won that game if we didn't throw the ball one time. That's how dominating the line was last night.
You might be right.
I feel like when I was playing my son, he's 7 years old, so I don't try to throw the ball in Madden. I just try to run it every play to see if I can beat him. That's what it felt like last night watching that game. And I got to tell you, it was such an electric atmosphere. I got down there about 3 o'clock yesterday, and I was FaceTiming my friends in San Diego, showing them what real football fans look like, and they just could not believe the atmosphere. People are falling all over themselves at 4 in the afternoon. The game was 4 hours away. It was just what a day to be an Eagles fan. The coffee tastes better. Everything's better today.
Listen, man, I'll tell you what. The Eagles are a different level football team, but the Philadelphia Eagles fans are a different level fan base, especially when it comes to the tailgate scene. Man, like, home field advantage is a tricky thing, right, Tim? You're going to have loud fan bases everywhere in the playoffs. But there's something special about certain fan bases that takes it over the top, and we certainly have that in Philadelphia. And maybe it's the drinking crowd, maybe it's the passion that is in this city, but you coming from the West Coast and seeing it, that had to be a heck of an experience for you last night.
Oh, it was incredible. I travel with the Eagles. I usually do 2 games a year, no matter what. But there was less Giants fans than I was expecting. There was rumors there was going to be all these Giants fans there last night.
What happened to that?
I didn't see that many, and it was a pretty respectable crowd. I didn't see any fights. I'm sure there was a few, but
no, there's no fights ever at Eagles games. What are you talking about, Tim? Nicest fans in football.
Well, I love your show, you guys, and I'll be calling you when I get back to the West Coast. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Sounds great, buddy.
Love it, man.
Appreciate it. Travel safe.
Yes.
Tim from San Diego. That's awesome. Go West Coast, the East Coast, a 21-hour trip for him. And
he said worth every penny, worth every minute.
I mean, how could it not be with a performance like last night? 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. Coming up on the other side, we want to talk a little bit about a change of feeling. Or maybe not. Maybe you're steadfast. And Tom and I are going to get into it a little bit. We're going to discuss how we're feeling about the team following last night's win by the Philadelphia Eagles. And if it's different than we felt early on in the season, during the Eagles' kind of rough stretch with the Jalen Hurts shoulder injury, in the waiting for the playoff game to take place. What's your mentality now that you've seen them play and win a playoff game easily? And how does that change what you're looking for from this team the rest of the way? Again, 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord, talking your NFC Championship-bound Eagles football here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We are back after this.
97.5 The Fanatic.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. All offers on approved credit. Less tax 452.3.
New year, new car. Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Easy, boy. Here we go.
New year, new car.
And they're off. World-famous Gary Barberas is storming out of the gate, and you can too, in America's favorite from $12,990. Yes, from $12,990.
It's our first sale of the year with Geeks Cheap. And that's why Birds coach Nick picks Barbera. Boy, I guess.
Just $199 down for only $199 a month. Gary Barbera discounts Jeeps cheap.
Oh, yeah. DallasStillSucks.com. New year, new car. It's our first sale of the year. Going Cherokee.
Crazy. Drop Rose rows and rows of Borbeck in the Boulevard keeps cheap. Just $1.99 down, or only $1.99 a month.
Right, Birds Coach Nick? Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. Go Birds!
Dallas still sucks.
.com. Hey, it's Cuz. So your New Year's resolution is to lose weight, right? Well, you can do that the right way. Get healthy with NJ Diet. NJ Diet's scientific approach will ensure that you lose that fat quickly and safely. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva samples along with their bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that balances your hormones, where the side effect is, you got it, weight loss. You're going to shed a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to help you keep it off. NJ Diet, all natural. No shots, no hormones, no surgery, no prepackaged foods. Ew. Full supervision provided every step of the way. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, Newark, Delaware, or from home with live online video consultations. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, and that's guaranteed. Call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. Schedule your consult today. NJDiet.com. That's NJDiet.com. And lose the weight for good.
Hey, it's pro football playoff time. It's the best time of the year. John Kincaid telling you it's been a great year for the Birds, and I want you to join the action in the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. It's got you and me covered for pro football playoffs. Plus, with pro and college hoops and so much more, you get the odds, the bets, the slots, and the games right there in the palm of your hand. And it's safe, it's secure, and it's easy to use. The official sportsbook for the real Philly sports fan. I know this. You can bet on more than just the score. Individual player performances let you cash in, and live in-game wagering lets you bet during the game. So come on in and join me on the BetParks app. And new users can get up to $750 in sportsbook bonus back if your first bet isn't a winner. So download it today and start playing instantly with the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. Now you got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. See betparks.com to get full terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought about space in my cramped apartment, but in this house, all I see is empty space. The sofa and ottoman look like tiny islands in a sea of hardwood floors. I could get 2 ottomans in the living room, but then I'd need another sofa. I could tell people I'm into minimalism.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
OT is charged. If you are a personal injury attorney in the Philadelphia area, we dare you to Google, who's the best lawyer near me? If your firm does not show up on the first page of the search results, then you are guilty of marketing malpractice.
For as little as $499 per month, BuildMeABetterSite.com will create and manage your website to ensure your law firm shows up for new clients who are ready to sign. Visit BuildMeABetterSite.com for your free demo.
BuildMeABetterSite.com is a small business resource of 97.5 The Fanatic.
For everything your business needs to make this year your year, Staples has you covered.
I need to organize all my papers and files from last year and the year before that.
Staples has you covered.
I need to clear clutter from my office and my home office and my home.
Staples has you covered with everything you need to get organized this year at amazing savings. Right now at Staples, get up to 50% off select file folders, file cabinets, file boxes, and storage bins. Make this year your year at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/28 in-store only.
And Doug.
Hey listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never really thought about tools until I bought a house in the suburbs. It's like this weird homeowner test if I need a tool for a project and don't have it. And my neighbor Ted loves to give me that look when I ask to borrow a pole saw. A year ago, I didn't even know pole saws existed. And now I gotta borrow one from Ted? What is happening?
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
The NFL playoffs are heating up. Hey, it's Jen Scordo. With FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, every play is a rush. New customers join today and bet the divisional round with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Sign up using my promo code SCORDO. Same game parlays are a great way to bet on the divisional round. Pick a team that you think is going to win. Pick a player for an anytime touchdown. And who you think is going to score first, boom, you've got a same game parlay all ready to go. Just look for the SGP symbol to build your same game parlay on FanDuel. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props, my favorite. You can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. It's all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code SCORDO. And make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Big games, big parties. Remember, it isn't just football. It's an experience. Don't settle for an average catering tray. Make it primo. Order in advance online. PrimoHoagies.com. Not just a hoagie. It's a primo.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now. WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
O'clock here, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord, and folks, it is a big, big day. And not just because the Philadelphia Eagles throttled the New York Giants last night, not because just the Eagles and the Sixers and the Flyers all won yesterday. No, it's a big day because if you're watching on YouTube, my co-host over here, Tom Alvord, is wearing a different hat. Haley's running the YouTube back there. Haley, can we throw Tom up on the YouTube? Tom normally wears his, 60-year-old man, Eagles.
That is a tremendous hat.
Don't hate on that. It's a great hat, but it is like a dad sit on the couch hat.
Yeah, it's a dad hat.
Which is fine. There's nothing against that. I'm just trying to describe it. It's like brown with the Eagles throwback logo on it. And
you can see it on the YouTube when we do shows together, our whatever page, or what was it, like cover page or whatever it would be.
Yeah, we have a little graphic up there that because you always wear it. But last weekend,
I got bullied.
You caught a little flack for. Did you get bullied?
I think I was bullied. Yes, I
did. You intentionally wake up and say, "I'm not wearing that hat"?
I put this hat in my car 2 days ago, so I would wear it today.
Wow!
I was bullied into it. How about that?
Look at that. See, bullying works. We know this in Philadelphia. We're great bulliers. Maybe that's part of the reason why the home field advantage is so strong here, because we can bully with the best of them here in Philadelphia. And we bullied Tom into switching his hat, so credit to everybody out there who helped me.
You like this hat more or the other one?
As Haley puts up Tom's new hat in the top left corner of the YouTube. I mean, I like the other hat. I like all hats. I'm a hatsman.
South Jersey Jack. Yeah. Tom got a new hat. He was very excited about it.
That's great. I'm glad everybody's so excited.
You're not the first to notice.
So, enough about Tom's hat, though, but credit to you for making a change, being a big person. Love that for you.
I try and get a little bit better each day.
Let's talk about something that's not changing.
Let's do that.
My feelings about the Philadelphia Eagles and what they are as a team. I had no doubts going into that game that they were going to work the New York Giants. Not to that extent, but I thought it was an easy victory. My projected score, I predicted 34-21 was how I thought it was going to end. Got the offense pretty close. Yeah. Gave a little bit too much credit to the Giants, or I guess not enough credit to the Philadelphia Eagles defense. But for me, since really they started 5-0 or 6-0, right around that time frame, that's when I got into, okay, I'm not ready to say it yet, but in my mind, this is a Super Bowl team.
This is real.
Yes. This is a team that could win it all. This is a team that my expectations are now deep playoff run. This is a team that if they don't go to the Super Bowl, I'll be a little disappointed because they have that talent. They were really, really special. And that feeling grew throughout the year, but it's been there for a while for me. And it did not waver when Jalen Hurts had the shoulder injury. It did not waver when the Eagles lost back-to-back games to the Cowboys and the Saints. It didn't waver in that earlier Washington loss. It didn't waver in the close game against the Indianapolis Colts, where the Eagles should have probably handled them a little bit better, considering the quality of that team or the lack of quality that team had. So I've been there really all year long. It's grown. Like, you become more and more confident that what you're seeing is real, but I've been a believer in this team. But I know not everyone has. Tom, what you saw last night, does that change your mindset about the Philadelphia Eagles at all? Were you wavering in your, hey, this team is a Super Bowl winning team, or have you felt that way consistently?
It hasn't changed one bit. And obviously that's the way you feel. That's how I feel genuinely. And I think a lot of people have felt that way. But there were people out there that when things looked bad, when it was 2 straight losses, when Jalen Hurts didn't look good in Week 18 and the offense didn't look good, people questioning the coaching staff, how good are these guys really? It was out there. It absolutely was. That entire time, and I'm not bragging or anything like that. Who cares? But when it comes down to it, with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback, I have no reason to believe that this team is not a Super Bowl-bound team, because they have been all season. They've lost one bleeping game with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback this season. One game. And honestly, if there's 2 more minutes in that game and there wasn't some penalties not called and penalties actually called in that Commanders game,
probably should have lost that game.
Yeah, man. Like, they're undefeated at that point. So it's with Jalen Hurts as QB1. And obviously, we had to see how he looked, and he looked pretty damn healthy yesterday. That extra week off helped immensely, as it should have. It not only to Jalen Hurts, but to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I'm sure, to Lane Johnson, I'm sure. The bye week was absolutely crucial with Jalen Hurts playing the way he has played this entire season. Even if he was going to take a little bit of a step down because of the injury, which it didn't look like he did yesterday at all, even if he's at 85%, 90% instead of 100% like he's been all season long, I'm still confident enough in that dude's talent and that dude's ability this season because he's been the MVP this season. So, yes, I know people out there were a bit worried about the coaching staff, about the injuries, about rust, all of that stuff. This entire time, I guess from week 5 on, I should say, I felt like this team has been going to a Super Bowl bound, at least good enough to get to the NFC Championship game. It has not changed. It's honestly probably greater right now after yesterday's game. Like, I have more confidence in this team. I was already very confident coming in to the playoffs. What I saw yesterday, even more confident. So, yeah, it hasn't changed for me, but I'm sure there are some people out there, and that's okay. We're not calling you out or anything like that, but that's just how good this team has been all season long. They proved it once again yesterday.
610-632-0975. Have some open lines for the first time in the show today if you want to jump in with your reaction to what you saw last night. If you were at the game, if you were tailgating, maybe you went out, maybe you watched on the couch, but you just want to get out that energy that you're feeling about how well the Eagles played and how talented this team is, you can jump in. I do want to let you know real quick, this weekend's programming is presented by H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for qualified buyers on a new HVAC system from H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit delcohvac.com for an estimate today. Let's head back to the phone lines and talk to Brian in Northeast Philly. Seems like Brian has some high expectations for the Birds. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
What's going on, guys? Great show.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So I would say in the beginning of the season, I wasn't sure, but right, we shouldn't have been, right?
No, how could you be, especially to this level, right?
Yeah. No, you were hoping they were going in this direction, but it was quicker than, most reasonable people thought, right? You wouldn't have thought this year would have been as explosive.
Yeah, and the funny thing, Brian, that's kind of what 2017 was too, right? Because you were in Wentz's second year, and you're like, okay, he looks like he's ready to take a step, and we think Doug Peterson's a pretty good coach, but they got to put some pieces together to really make a run. So and that team didn't even make the playoffs prior to the 2017 run. They were out. They were out at the end of the regular season in 2016. So yes, a similar feeling this year where you wanted them to take a step, but they took a huge one.
Yeah, they took a leap, and I had no worries when Hurts was out. I mean, he was the number 1 quarterback. Listen, we've won a Super Bowl with a number 2 quarterback, but I mean that don't happen, right? There's like twice.
No,
him, right? That's pretty much it. So, that we got not lucky, but that was like our blessing.
I'd be willing to call that a little bit lucky.
Yeah, but going forward, I mean, you need a number 1 quarterback. That's who wins, and Cincy's not. He's already proven he's not. So, Hurts being out, that to me, that proved that how good he was, and that's how you win.
It only strengthens his MVP case, right? Because of how poor they looked, especially in that Saints game. The Cowboys game, obviously, if you have Hurts in there, you probably win that game. But the Saints game especially, there was a ton of questions about, is it the system? How good is Jalen Hurts really? He's a really damn good quarterback.
Yep. To me, that was more – that strengthened my belief that they were good, actually, when they lost those 2 games.
Yeah, so you think, Brian, that they're Super Bowl bound. Like, you're convinced this team is heading there.
Well, I will say this, right? I own a business that benefits from Eagles wins.
It's a nice time to be in that type of business right now.
So I'm very, I'm very bullish on the Eagles.
As you should be.
I could have goggles on, but I don't think I do.
Listen, man, believe it or not, this business does pretty well when the Eagles win as well. So we're in the same boat as you. So I can't really be a unbiased third party here, but I think it's a pretty good prediction on your front if you think the Eagles are heading to Glendale, Arizona to take place in the Super Bowl. They got as good a chance as anybody.
Oh yeah, they have a shot, right? They have the shot, and that's what we're hoping for, and we got it. You know what I mean? We got a whole week to gear up, and after they beat whoever, after they beat San Fran, most likely, right?
I'd say so.
You know?
Yeah,
then
but
we're gearing up for 2 weeks.
You're absolutely right, Brian. It's going to be awesome. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you for taking some time to jump in on this stress-free Sunday after the Philadelphia Eagles make their way to the NFC Championship game. 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. And you know what'll make it an even more stress-free Sunday? Well, having some great picks on games and knowing you can trust them and knowing you have some winners out there that you can find on 2 really interesting games coming up. I mean, Cincinnati and Buffalo, look at that. That's a heck of a matchup. One of the more intriguing games that we've seen in the postseason so far. And you also have San Fran and Dallas, which is intriguing to us here in Philadelphia for multiple reasons. But if you're a gambling person out there, well, a lot of action out on the table. So let's talk to our friend Paul Nolan, who's on the Comcast Business Hotline. Paul, how you doing today, man?
I'm excellent. How you guys doing?
I think you know already.
We've been worse.
We couldn't be better.
What's with this town, man? I mean,
we just win. It's a city of winners here in Philadelphia, Paul, as it's always
you guys
been.
are like the new Boston. What's going on?
Hey, we got to win a couple more
cute,
before that.
You little tiny cities like Boston and Philly.
Oh,
like a big city. It's so cute.
Oh, easy.
Winning
easy
is cute.
there.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. Appreciate it.
Dude, let me tell you something. You can have New York City all day. I would honestly rather chew on a big pile of tinfoil while I'm shaving my head with a cheese grater than go into Manhattan. There's nothing. If the Lord said I'm coming to speak downtown Manhattan, I'm not going. It's hell. I'm not going there.
Well, he wouldn't go to Manhattan. He'd be in Philly.
Give me a lake. Give me towering trees and no cars. I'm so sick of cities, so I had to take a shot there, but because I'm jealous.
No, absolutely
what a
love
town,
it, man.
What a sports town. Been phenomenal. What a run.
Absolutely, man. It has. So, obviously, we got a lot to talk about in our time here, but what did you make of yesterday's slate, specifically that Eagles game, but, of course, the game beforehand when it came down to the Jaguars and Chiefs? What did you make of yesterday?
Well, I just thought everything changed in that game. Like, Mahomes came out of the gate looking like he was ready to play. I mean, he was making every play. They had so many wrinkles. I mean, just the way they scratched down the line on one of the first plays of the game when they had the interior, A-gap blitz. They had a double A-gap blitz. No problem. We got an answer for it. And Mahomes just completely reads the linebacker. I think it was Arden Key, if I remember correctly, but he completely reads him and, pulls it down, fakes the pull, pumps it, fakes the pull, back over to the edge, and it's next, it's 8 yards, first down. Just tremendous. Then he makes the side angle arm throw, and to me, I thought it was a little suspect. I think Arden Key knew exactly what he was doing when he came down. To me, he looked right away with, "Look, I'm innocent," with the hands up. I thought he was targeting that ankle, in an effort to kind of really give.
When they slowed it down, it did look like that a little bit. Obviously, it's tough in real time. They slow it down. It did look like it was a little bit purposeful.
I've just seen every single snap of, every team, and I just know how he plays. He plays on the edge. He's a violent player, which I love if he's on my team. I'm not going to deny that. If he's my guy, it's like, yeah, let's junkyard dogs. Let's go. Let's have some fun kind of a thing, and I get it. But, to me, I thought the whole entire complexion of the game changed after that. Everything was quick, one-step, two-step drops and pops, and I just thought everything about the tenor and the flow of the game changed there. So it was a tough game from top to bottom because they're covering, and I ended up defaulting on a free pick to Kansas City, and obviously at the end, you take the rubber hose to the back of the head with the field goal, but
brutal bad beat there.
Yeah, there's some bad breaks along the way. Well, I wouldn't go on record as saying it was the greatest game. You just can't. That's when nothing's 100% because I thought when Mahomes got hurt, it just changed the entire complexion of the offense, how they were going to play it. And I think it's fairly evident, just looking at the play call, snaps, and yards per play before and after. So, they have to protect their franchise. I mean, he's just on another level. I mean, he's just so incredibly unique. So that was one thing. But I thought that it also helped our, yesterday we had a nice strong win on the over with Kelsey's, 79 yards. So, then it went to 81. So I thought it was a pretty good day overall, but, not great. My teaser won with Kansas City and Philly, and I had Philly in the first half, but I lost the over in the Giants and the Eagles. I really thought the Giants would get to 14 to 16 points, and I thought the Eagles get from 34 to 41 because I really felt like the matchup was super strong for the Eagles. Just every level of that game and it was just easy.
Yeah. No, and it looked easy yesterday. The Eagles made it look easy, that's for sure. 7.5 going into that game for a lot of books. And I was one that was picking the Giants there. I thought the Eagles would win. I had no doubt in my mind the Eagles would win, but I thought it would be close. I thought you'd see some rust from Jalen Hurts. Ugly NFC East matchup, and it was not that at all yesterday.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, that was just, to me, it was the team that we saw early in the year who got better. The key now is really going to be the health of Lane Johnson. How will he hold up? He wasn't completely dominant like he normally is. Obviously, he did his job, of course. But that offensive line was downfield blocking, like junkyard dogs as always. The coaching was magnificent. The play calling was simple and effective, and at no point did it ever feel like there was any chance of the Giants mounting any kind of threat to come back. And I think next week that whoever the Eagles face in this game at home, they're going to be at least a 4-point favorite, and I think it's rightfully so. Unless there's a blowout in this, Dallas-San Fran game one way or the other, they're going to be at least 3.5 points. So, and it's big, and they've earned it. That offensive line, that defensive line, it's just every game is one of the trenches, and they absolutely dominate both sides.
Absolutely. Talking to Paul Nolan of Free Winners. Text free to 313-GET-INFO. Again, text free to 313-GET-INFO. Not only are you getting tremendous NFL knowledge and picks, you've been red hot when it comes to college basketball as well. So if you want to make some money on college basketball as well, Paul Nolan is the guy, and those guys at Free Winners are the people to talk to. Paul, let's look a little bit at today's slate and start with the early game, if you will, Cincinnati and Buffalo. How are you feeling heading into this game?
Well, to me, there's some cool player props in this one. I think there's some really good options there. It's funny because when you get to this time of year, you can find so many, systematic trends, like, playing on an underdog of 3 points or more, or division, foes who faced each other earlier in the year, which obviously applies but doesn't apply to this one. There's so many angles on, teams that won the division and 18-3 and this and that, but it always comes down to the on-field matchups, and that's where I think you could find great value. Like, to me, Tyler Boyd is going to get over 3.5 catches today. Tyler Boyd is in the 11 games he's been on the field with T. Higgins and Jamar. He's had seven. He's had at least 4 catches in 7 of those 11 games, and he's had at least 5 targets on all of them. So I just think he's going to be the perfect option for this team that really has been passing the ball a great deal more, even against a really stout Baltimore team the last 2 games, because of the offensive line issues that they have. And I think the drop-off from Juwan Williams to Jackson, I'll forget my brain. I can't remember everyone's name off the top of my head anymore. But it's not huge. They're both equally, pedestrian, to say the least. I mean, it's really not great offensive line even before the injury. So I think that they're going to get the ball out of their hands fast. I think they're going to find a way to just dink and dunk. And I think that Tyler Boyd's going to easily get 3.5 catches, maybe 4.5, 5.5, 6. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes this like little safety blanket, because there is some soft spots, in the flats, against Buffalo's defense. So I like that and I also like Burrow over 25.5 completions. If you go down the list, in his last few games, he's averaged 24, completions versus Baltimore, back-to-back games where the offense was really, stymied for the most part. And then they had 40 completions versus a good Patriots secondary, 27 versus Tampa Bay's decent secondary since really Lyle Collins had went down when the injury started. So I think he's going to dink and dunk his way to keep the offense moving. So I think that's another good quality prop bet for free.
Love that. And I especially love the Tyler Boyd one. A little bit under the radar there with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He's still a really, really talented receiver over there. So love the over 3.5 you have there. Again, talking to Paul Nolan of Free Winners. Text free to 313-GET-INFO. Again, text free to 313-GET-INFO. Now, let's get to the game of the night, not just here in Philadelphia as we await our opponent, but game of the night in the NFL as well. We look at Dallas and San Francisco. How are we feeling going into that one, Paul?
This is a really interesting one. Well, all the games are interesting. For one, I love the throwback look to this game. As the guy who grew up and watching, these two franchises kind of battle it out in the '90s and and even into the 2000s. Just exciting to watch. Kind of the resurgence of the NFC East, NFC West. I like the way it looks just in general. I think there's some interesting, situational analysis. Teams that come off 5 days rest, a 38-21 against the spread, from a favorite of getting, of +7 or better, which is 48-21. So Dallas also applies to a negative situation. There's so many third and fourth road game situations. There's a lot of really interesting systematic issues that hurt this Dallas team, but in a way they kind of match up. So I know that this is the ultimate pros versus Joes type of game, but I think the real value in this one is the total, and that's the one we're giving away for free if guys text us. That's my best bet. So I think the game is real, the line is sharp as it can be, but I think there's great value in this total. I really believe that.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Again, talking to Paul Nolan of Free Winners. Text free to 313-GET-INFO. You can get that best bet when it comes to the total there. Paul, real quick, obviously I mentioned that you guys are red hot when it comes to college basketball, not only the NFL. Anything else you want to say to the people out there before we let you go today?
Just don't sleep on the hoop. I mean, college hoop, there's so much great value and there's so much profit available there. And I just think guys are going to be really much, much better off putting their larger bets on college hoop to make the money, but still obviously put your bets on the smaller bets of 1% or 3% bets on the football games because they're so entertaining. I mean, the NFL's got the product has been phenomenal, and it's really at a whole new level. And I just think gambling is now in the forefront where people, if they're betting smart and responsibly, they're going to, they can have fun with this and they don't have to hurt themselves. People out there, if you're betting recklessly, you're betting more than 5% of your bankroll in any one game, you're really doing yourself and your family a disservice. It's too reckless. 1%, 3%, 5%, pretend you're at a blackjack table and be pragmatic, be stoic. If you lose, don't be over emotional. Please, if you're not going to call us, you don't have the guidance or the discipline, just remember just to not get emotional and check your feelings at the door the week later, because your recency bias is going to be baked into the line coming up this following week, and it's going to be used against you. So make sure you're staying calm and cool. And that's just a public service announcement. If you're a degenerate, get help, because I've seen the smartest guys in the world get ruined by this game. So really, really, you got to respect. I tell you, it's like kids in the ocean, man. You better respect the pull, because it'll suck you up and take you out to sea. So that's really on the honest from my heart. The audience has been great to us, so I figured I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, Paul, that's why you guys are the best. You guys are honest, reliable, and you guys are the best in the business. Again, Paul Nolan of Free Winners. Text free to 313-GET-INFO. Again, text free to 313-GET-INFO. Paul, thanks so much, man. Can't wait to talk to you next week.
I want to listen to you up there. Can I leave a question and listen to you off there? I want to know who you and your audience want to see more, Dallas or the Niners. I'm really curious what the sentiment there in Philadelphia is. I'm really curious to see who you guys would rather face.
That is perfect because that is exactly what we're going to get into after this break we're about to take. We already had that planned, so we can 100% do that for you.
Gentlemen, have a great day, and thanks for your time.
Thank
Paul,
you, man.
thank you so much, man.
As always. Paul Nolan, free winners.
Look at that, doing our job for us.
It's on the sheet. It's literally what we have coming up next. That's perfect. We didn't plant that at all. Great work by Paul Nolan there to lead us into our next topic. So we will get into that. Yes, that is the question. You can chime in at 610-632-0975. Who's next? Who do you want? If you've heard me on the Jockey Cage Show, you know where I stand on this one already. But we don't know where Tom stands. And I don't know where you out there stand. So let me know. Call in. Let us know, rather, because me and Tom will get into it. And we'll possibly disagree on this next one. Again, 610-632-0975 is how you jump into the show. Plenty of great Eagles talk.
Stalk? We're stalking the Eagles?
I combined
Who
the
are we
two words.
stalking?
Listen, man, after that game, I want all Eagles all the time. They earned it. 610-632-0975. It's Connor Thomas and Tom Alvord, and we are back after this.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Well, yesterday was fun, huh? You get a 3-for-3 Philly sweep, topped off with your football team heading to the NFC Championship. But you know what would make this weekend even better? If you win some money. And that's where we head to Paul Nolan and the guys over at Free Winners. If you're placing bets on this weekend's football games, you heard Paul Nolan from Free Winners on the line with me this morning. He's got some hot picks for you. He gave us some great ones in the Cincinnati-Buffalo game. Tyler Boyd over 3.5 catches, loves that. And Joe Burrow over 25.5 completions in today's game, Cincinnati and Buffalo. You can also get his best bet in the San Fran-Dallas game. All you have to do is text the word FREE to 313-GET-INFO. Again, text the word FREE to 313-GET-INFO. Paul Nolan from Free Winners is an NFL expert handicapper. The team at Free Winners works around the clock to uncover the best on-field matchups. They use mathematical methods and algorithms, taking every detail into account. The system they use is incredible, and they treat every client as an individual with a different set of needs. One size does not fit all. Before you place your bets on this weekend's college and pro football games and also college basketball, because as he mentioned and as I mentioned, they've been red hot when it comes to college basketball. It goes a little bit under the radar. They have great knowledge and selections when it comes to college basketball. All you have to do is get your free picks from Free Winners by texting the word FREE to 313-GET-INFO. Again, text FREE to 313-GET-INFO.
Well, folks, it's the new year, and that means it's time for all of us to take stock of our goals for 2023 and beyond. And this time next year, guess what? Well, you could be a graduate of CSB Media Arts Center and one step closer into your dream career in the broadcast media industry. Hey, it's Connor Thomas, and I'm a very proud CSB graduate, and CSB is molding a new generation of professionals that are shaping the future of the broadcast media industry. Do you want to do what I do? Well, you could be next. CSB offers hands-on, learn-by-doing training, podcasting, audio and video production, radio, television, sports, and more. And it's in months, not years. CSP's training, well, it gave me the skills that helped me land right here at the Fanatic. And they can do the absolute same for you. Listen, college isn't for everyone, and certainly neither is student loan debt. There's no lecture halls here, just studios. So this year, make the New Year's resolution that I did back in 2019. Invest in yourself and your future. It was the best decision I ever made. Schedule your tour at GoCSB.com. CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. CSB Media Arts Center is approved for veterans training. GoCSB.com.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-993-8014. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-993-8014.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-993-8014. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-993-8014.
This week's Pro to Watch is brought to you by Bradford White. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best. This week's Pro to Watch is Birds running back Miles Sanders. And why is he the most critical person as we head into this divisional playoff weekend? It's because of the need for balance. Earlier this season, when the Birds took on New York, they showed incredible balance. They were able to throw the ball at will. The Birds wide receivers went nuts against the G-men on that Sunday afternoon. Can they replicate it? Only if Miles Sanders is tearing it up between the tackles. For exceptional hot water performance for your home or your business, ask a plumbing professional about installing a Bradford White water heater. Whether it's gas or electric, tank or tankless, how you heat your hot water matters. So choose the efficiency, quality, and reliability of Bradford White for your starting lineup. To learn more and find a pro near you, visit BradfordWhite.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
It never dawned on me how much walking I used to do until I bought a house in the suburbs. Like when I'd say, I'm going for coffee, of course I was walking, but now it's like 3 miles and no latte's worth that. I find myself inviting people on walks with me like it's a scheduled activity. This morning, my neighbor asked me what I'm doing, and I actually said, I'm going for a walk with Nancy.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
It's back. The 23rd Annual Greater Philadelphia Boat Show. January 27th through 29th at the Expo Center at Oaks. Don't wait another year for your new boat. Shop 15 dealers from 3 states with in-stock boats ready for immediate delivery. The Philly Boat Show. January 27th through 29th at Expo Center at Oaks. Details at phillyboatshow.com. That's phillyboatshow.com.
Experience the ride. The Philly Auto Show returns January 28th to February 5th. Filled with the latest models, classics, and exotics. Visit phillyauto.show.com for details.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Philly sports fans, the energy of the city. 97.5 The Fanatic.
That's right, party up. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the NFC Championship game, ladies and gentlemen. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord. It is 10:30 here, 97.5 The Fanatic. And
10:33.
10:32. And now it's 10:33. Okay, yeah, okay.
I don't wanna lie to the people.
Minor details, okay? Minor details, Tom. The big details that matter, I'll tell you what it is. 38-7. Again, The score last night of the NFC divisional round matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Jalen Hurts looked incredible. The Eagles' defense looked incredible. Kenneth Gainwell looked really good. Dallas Goedert looked really good. Devontae Smith looked amazing. The offensive line looked great. You know what? Maybe the most important thing besides the win, they got out 100% perfectly healthy. Everything went great for the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Lane Johnson played every snap that the starters played. He wasn't 100%. I think he was 96% of snaps Lane Johnson was on the field for. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was out there for 90% of the snaps, tied for the second most of, tied with a bunch of defensive players for second highest percentage in snaps played. Jalen Hurts was not out there for 100% of snaps because we got Gardner Minshew late in that game, which I said we had a remote broadcast for the John Kincaid Show at the Rally House in Farrows Hills this Friday. And as we were packing up and leaving, I legitimately said, if we get Gardner Minshew snaps late in the fourth quarter of a divisional round playoff game against the Giants, I am going to be insufferable. We got it.
Okay, here we go.
It.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Got it, baby.
Awesome.
It's just, man, this is great. This is awesome. To have that game happen last night and have this good of a football team here in Philadelphia, man, it's such a wonderful feeling. 610-632-0975. You can jump in, share your reaction. I still want to hear more from people who were down at the game last night. I love hearing about environments like that. We do Eagles postgame. It's rare that we get the opportunity to get down to the stadium anymore, and it's just one of the things about being in this industry. Sometimes you can't make it to the games because you have to be on the air. But
bummer, we have to talk about the Eagles after making it to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, there are certainly worse things to be spending your time doing. No, do not cry for us. But the point is, we don't get to experience that as much as maybe some of you who have season tickets. Folks out there who go to the games when they can. Folks who splurge for playoff tickets when the Eagles make it. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you shelling out on Tuesday morning. I believe it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. is when tickets go on sale for the NFC Championship game.
Only 4 per household, so be ready.
Yeah, still. I mean, there's going to be people that are saying, well, I'm pretending to be my neighbors. I'm going to buy 4 for their household too, and this, that, and the other thing. I'm sure they got ways to check it, but a very hot ticket, believe it or not, here in Philadelphia will be the NFC Championship game against either San Francisco or the Dallas Cowboys. But just an absolute party of a night last night at Lincoln Financial Field. So if you were down there, want to hear from you. If you're planning on going to the NFC Championship game, want to hear from you if you're getting the tickets and everything like that. And it's just, man, I just love the reaction. But the point I was getting to about us not being able to get down to the stadiums as much, I was in the building for the 2018 NFC Championship game against Minnesota. I was sitting there. I felt everything shake. We're down in the corner where Patrick Robinson scored on the interception that sparked everything. I hesitate to think it may be making it sound too dramatic, but it's life-changing to be at sporting events of that caliber, and you got one last night. You get playoff games rarely in sports. We're spoiled here. I know we don't win championships very often here in Philadelphia, and that'll always be a gripe until you see, I don't know, maybe like a 1980 run where every team's in it, and maybe we're in that right now. This could be it, so drink it in. But even though we don't win championships very often here in Philadelphia, we do get a lot of playoff opportunities. We get a lot of home playoff opportunities. So we have chances to go. But even those, it's rare when you get games like that, especially in the NFL where there's only one. Like the Phillies, you had a bunch of those moments during their World Series run. But you're playing multiple game series. You have more opportunities, more bites at the apple to have a transcendent game. It doesn't even mean you win a series. So it's fun, but it's a whole nother environment when it's win or go home, one game, show up. It's football. That's the fabric of this town. That's the fabric of Philadelphia. So transcendent type of event last night if you were able to attend. And I love to hear from people who, like Tim from San Diego, who we talked to earlier, like Tyree in Northeast, who was talking about the stadium shaking. Just folks that are able to make that trip and make it to the games. Awesome. It's always fun hearing their recount of what they got into and what they saw and what they were able to experience.
Yeah, I would love to know how the tailgates were yesterday. because obviously the Wings opened their lot at like 11 a.m. or something like that.
I think it was 8 a.m.
Was that what I think it got pushed back a little bit, and they didn't
because
know
they knew that
it
Eagles
was going
fans
to
were
be chaos.
Yeah.
My girlfriend went over there. She's not an Eagles fan. She's a Packers fan, but she took the train over. It took her an hour to get to the spot that her friends were tailgating at because they couldn't find parking because it was that packed over there. So if you were tailgating yesterday and you're awake and actually coherent, which it's 10:30, probably not, still a little early for people like that. But regardless, I want to hear how the tailgates were yesterday. And you're right, man, we might be in the middle of something here. Like that Phillies run we just went on was awesome. One of the best runs, some of the most fun I've ever had as a sports fan. What do? They go out there and sign Trey Turner. They go out there and make moves that need to be made. It looks like they're going to be one of the best teams in the NL, one of the best teams in the MLB for the next couple years going forward. We look at the Sixers. Yes, they've had their second round woes. Yes, you can worry about Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid. The Sixers are damn good right now. Second in the East. They just won 5 straight games on the West Coast. They, of course, have Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. DeAnthony Melton's playing tremendous. James Harden looks like the James Harden of old. They look like they have something going there. And then we get to the Eagles, where it's just Howie Roseman has done such a tremendous job. You have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith locked up. 2 receivers, under 25 years old, that are top 10, 15 receivers in this league. You have one of the best offensive line, if not the best offensive lines in football. You have draft picks, 2 draft picks this season in the first round, or this offseason, and one of them being in the top 10 because of the Saints. And then you look at Jalen Hurts, where that's the biggest thing in professional sports is finding the franchise quarterback. And right now, he still has more to prove. Obviously, we got to see how he does in the playoffs. He's got to continue to do it. But, man, it looks like we finally have a guy here in Philadelphia. So you're right. We might be in the middle of being spoiled at this moment when it comes to Philadelphia sports fans. So I just want people to enjoy it. I think sometimes we don't sit back and soak it in the moment that's going on right now. Today's the day for that because yesterday was awesome. The past couple months, past year has been awesome in Philadelphia.
Well, there's only a little bit of time to soak, though, because you have a very interesting matchup tonight in the other side of the NFC divisional round. Cowboys, 49ers. It's time to ask the question, who do you want to see? 610-632-0975. Do you want the Cowboys? Do you want the 49ers? Do you care at all? Because I'm going to open this conversation with this. Anybody can get it.
Okay.
Anybody can get it.
Good to know.
You could take the best players on the remaining playoff teams, build a damn super team, and if they come into the link, anybody can get it. I like the Eagles against anybody remaining. And any football team you could put together on this planet, I will take the one wearing midnight green. That's me. That's what I'm starting with. I'm not scared of Dallas. I am not scared of San Francisco. I'm not scared of anybody on the AFC side. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football. They are my Super Bowl favorites. I do think it's happening. So, no, this is not whatever team I pick in a second here. It's not for being scared of the other team. But I will tell you, if you want the Dallas Cowboys to come into Lincoln Financial Field next weekend, I think you're crazy. I think you're nuts. I think you are misguided as to what you should be rooting for as a true Philadelphia Eagles fan. Why, Tom? Why would I be so against the Cowboys coming in here? It's perfect, right? Dallas, Philly, NFC Championship game. Oh, it's amazing. All the storylines, divisional opponents. You get to see there's so much trash talk and all this. They're hated rivals. It's beautiful. We got an instant classic potentially on our hands. You know why? Because that would require me rooting for the Dallas Cowboys to win a damn football game. Something that I rarely ever do, and the only times is when it benefits the Philadelphia Eagles. I want Dallas to lose. You know the best possible outcome of any Dallas Cowboys season ever? It would be 0-17. Lose every single damn game by 100. You know what the second best is? 1-16. And so on and so forth. The sooner the Dallas Cowboys are out, the happier I am. I don't care if the Eagles eliminate them. Doesn't have to be us. And I don't want to put us in a situation where Dallas goes to an NFC Championship game. I don't want to put us in a scenario where, because listen, they're a quality football team. Remember what I said. I'm not scared of them. The Eagles will win that football game. I firmly believe that. But I don't want Dallas to even sniff a chance at going to a Super Bowl. I want them to get throttled today. Partially because I think Brock Purdy is the lesser of the two quarterbacks available for the Eagles to play against. And I don't see him coming in here and beating the Eagles. But I don't see the Cowboys winning that game either. I just think if you want the Dallas Cowboys to advance to the NFC Championship game, as an Eagles fan, you're nuts. My personal opinion. Tom, what say you?
Call me nuts, buddy. Because I want the Dallas.
Dude,
if it's
crazy.
an easier matchup for my football team next week, I don't care if they win. I don't care if they're feeling themselves. It's an easier matchup. So I want to see, Brock Purdy might not be as good as Dak Prescott, even though Dak Prescott has left a lot to be desired this season, leads the league, I believe, in interceptions, even though he missed 5 games. Listen, both of these teams are really talented, and I'm like you, where I'm going to be confident with whoever comes in here next week because they have to come to Philadelphia and play in Lincoln Financial Field. That is going to be excruciatingly tough for whatever team comes in here. So I will be confident. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a 38-7 win again, which would be just absolutely crazy if that happened again. But I think these are two really good teams. No matter who you're matched up with against, it's going to be a closer game than it was with the New York Giants. However, when it comes down to it, I hate the Cowboys. They are my number one hated team in all of sports. I heard a ton of, Giants, I hate the Giants.
So why would you not want them to lose?
I want them to lose, but I want them to lose to the Eagles because
why does it matter?
Because it's an easier matchup.
I see. That's the other thing. I don't think it is.
So I've fought back and forth with this because you are correct. When it comes to the quarterback, which is the most important position in sports, despite how bad he's been this season, despite the interceptions, we're talking about Dak Prescott, who's had good years, who's made good throws throughout his career, and a guy like Brock Purdy, who's been really good in this 10-game stretch, 11-game stretch, whatever it is. This is still the last pick in the draft coming into Philadelphia. So I have struggled with that a bit. But when it comes down to it, and I look at the roster as a whole, I believe that the San Francisco 49ers roster is better. You look at the skill position players, you look at the defense, and specifically that defensive line, which does scare me a little bit coming into that game because they are so lethal. And I also look at the Cowboys and how they fare in big moments. How they fare in big moments, whether it's last year, when it was Tampa Bay and Dak Prescott not getting down in time and being able to spike the ball and they lose the game that way, whether it's something that I pointed out to you a couple weeks ago in that game against Gardner Minshew and the Philadelphia Eagles just about a month ago, or whatever it was. 2 plays in that game that I absolutely loved as a Philadelphia Eagle fan. One, it happened when Dak Prescott goes out of bounds instead of staying inbounds late in that second quarter. And he also takes a sack instead of throwing it away. It just seems like they can't get out of their own way when it comes to big moments. Not just Dak Prescott, but Mike McCarthy as well, who's only won 1 Super Bowl, even though he had maybe the greatest quarterback talent we've ever seen on planet Earth. So for those 2 reasons, I think San Fran's roster is better, and the roster as a whole, especially the defense, is better, and how the Cowboys have fared in the past in big moments because they haven't gotten it done at all. So I fought back and forth, but because I think it's the easier matchup, I'd rather see the Cowboys here next week.
Yeah, listen, we've talked about it. I've said it multiple times on these airwaves. I've written an article about it for 97.5 The Fanatic's website. You can go ahead and go back in the archives and check it out. Quarterbacks win Super Bowls. When I look at a team and a potential playoff opponent, I always start at the quarterback position. I will ask you, Tom, and this is not change. If you agree with me on this one, it doesn't mean that you have to change your opinion. You still want Dallas. I still want San Francisco. But what quarterback, just look at the quarterback, would you rather play next week? Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy?
The answer is Brock Purdy. I don't think it's that big of a difference, though, right now. Dude, in this season, how they've been playing, Dak is obviously a much better career. He probably is a better quarterback. This season, Brock Purdy, he's not asked to do much, but he's making the throws that need to be made, and he has tremendous skill position players. He's accurate. Dak Prescott leads the league in interceptions, even though he missed 5 games. And they have a ton of great skill position players. So, yes, the answer is Brock Purdy. I'd rather play Brock Purdy if you're talking about the 2 quarterbacks, but I don't think it's a huge, substantial difference this season.
Now, I think that is the wool being pulled over your eyes by some easy matchups for the 49ers down the stretch and a quarterback who all he has to do is dump the ball off to Deebo Samuel or Kittle.
All Dak has to do is dump it off to CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard.
But he doesn't.
Dalton Schultz.
That's the thing. Dak is the more talented quarterback. I'm all for Cowboy slander. I hate them. And you know how Anthony Gargano loves to say it's sports hate? No. I hate them. I hate the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm all for slander of them, but Dak is easily, to me, the more talented quarterback between him and Brock Purdy. So I look at
definitely better right now.
And the thing that we've got to take into account, it pains me to say it, he plays pretty damn well against the Eagles. Dak Prescott plays pretty damn well against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to be in a scenario where they have, like, I said this on the John K. Show, I'll say it again here. Our way of life changes if the Dallas Cowboys beat you in the NFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah, I that's a nightmare.
Our way of life.
Yes, correct.
We will never be the same sports fans again.
Never.
Our most hated team will have bragging rights over us in a huge moment. I don't want that to even be on the table. I don't think it happens. I don't want it to be a possibility. I'm a risk-averse person. I'm a person that if there is a 1% chance of something going wrong and I have a path of a 0% chance, I'm taking that. Some people like risk.
This coming from the guy who eats halal food truck lamb 40 hours after it's been made.
I'm a tank, bro.
Okay.
I'm a tank. That is no risk.
So you just
I'm a
contradicted
monster.
yourself.
I got an iron gut, dude.
Fair enough.
An old lamb is not going to kill Connor Thomas. You can put that on the record. I'll go out one day, but I'm going out on not on old lamb's terms. It'll be something a lot stronger than that'll have to take me out.
Good to know.
But no, I don't want the Cowboys to, and I don't want them to have the happiness of seeing their team advance to the NFC title game. Like I don't want them to win, and I don't understand all the people who, we want Dallas, we want Dallas, we want Dallas. No, I can't be with you. I can't.
I get it. I do. And listen, that is an absolute nightmare scenario. You're right. Our way of life completely changes. If it changes, if Dallas comes in here and beats you on your home field to go to the Super Bowl. I can't even fathom thinking about that next week of work.
That'll be the worst loss in Philadelphia sports history to me.
Yes. But when it comes down to, and I understand what you're saying about the quarterback. I understand the nightmare scenario that it is. Much like a lot of people didn't want to see the Giants out there because they were, quote, a hot team because they beat the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota and because you had to see them 3 times in a row, but when it came, or 3 times in one season, when it came down to it, they were the better matchup. They were the worst of the teams. In my opinion, I believe Dallas is the worst of the 2 teams left remaining in the NFC that is not named the Philadelphia Eagles. Therefore, I want to see them.
610-632-0975. We'll be taking calls on who you want the Eagles to play in the NFC Championship game. Going to be doing that for the rest of the show, so plenty of time to jump in. And I have a little bit of friendly advice here real quick.
Is that right?
Yes.
What's that?
So this is only because we're alumni. I don't know the proper term. The weird
alumni.
Plural.
It's one alumni.
Yeah, one alumni, but 2 is alumnus, right?
Is it?
I believe so.
Regardless.
Anyway, we went to the same damn high school. Sean Bradley, RV guy. Love Sean Bradley. And as another RV guy, I got to give him a little bit of advice here. His most recent tweet on Twitter. Also, get my man a blue check. Doesn't have a blue check. Plays for the damn Eagles. Somebody help him out. Get my man a blue check. But Sean Bradley tweeted out about an hour ago, for the first time, I'm actually rooting for Dallas to win tonight. We got something for him. See, you know what? If the fans are tweeting chanting we want Dallas and tweeting Dallas Cowboys can catch the smoke, okay. I don't really love the players saying we want Dallas, we've got something for him and everything like that. That's you're setting yourself up a little bit there. Just take care of your business. That feels like
they did take care of their business.
No, but I mean like next week and then after be like we whooped. Like last night you tweeted out damn ass whooping with a bunch of the laughing emojis. That's fine. Tweet after the game. I don't really love the whole we've got something for him when you're talking about a team you could match up against in the NFC Championship game. I love the bravado. If I was a player I wouldn't be.
So I'll be honest with you. A couple minutes ago, you said you're not scared of anybody.
I'm not.
You're sounding a little scared right now.
That's what everyone says. I'm not scared.
A little bit scared.
I don't think they lose. It's stupid to give them the chance. It's dumb to even get what you know what it is? You're the damn Bond villain. You're the Bond villain at the end of the movie who instead of just killing James Bond wants to go through your whole speech about how you're going to blow up the world. And while you're giving that whole damn speech, you're giving more chances for James Bond to potentially do something crazy. Okay? And it takes something outlandish that only happens in movies for it to happen. But don't give the damn speech. Kill him when you got the chance. I want the Dallas Cowboys dead. Not literally. That one is sports-wise. I want their season over. So, yeah. No Dallas for me. Give me San Fran. And I think that's what's going to happen anyway because I think San Fran is the better team, but the lesser quarterback. So, give me the San Francisco 49ers. That's where I stand.
What say you out there? 610-632-0975. Got people lined up on the phone lines. We'll get to you coming up next. Plenty of stuff to still get into on the Philadelphia Eagles advancing to the NFC Championship game. Connor Thomas, Tom Alvord. We're back after this here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
DallasStillSucks.com for details. All offers on approved credit. Plus tax 452.3.
New year, new car. Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Easy, boy. Here we go.
New year, new car.
And they're off. World-famous Gary Barberas is storming out of the gate, and you can too, in America's favorite from $12,990. Yes, from $12,990.
It's our first sale of the year with Jeeps Cheap. And that's why Birds coach Nick picks Barbera.
Boy, I guess.
Just $199 down for only $199 a month. Gary Barbera discounts Jeeps cheap.
Oh, yeah. DallasStillSucks.com.
New year, new car.
It's our first sale of the year. Going Cherokee.
Crazy. From rows and rows of Borbeck and the Boulevard. Jeeps cheap. Just $199 down for only $199 a month.
Right, Birds coach Nick?
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. Go Birds.
DallasStillSucks.com.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here, and the NFL playoffs are heating up. And now with FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, every play is a rush. New customers, join today and bet the divisional round with $150 in free bets, guaranteed, when you place your first $5 bet. All you have to do is sign up with promo code BOB, and you know all the fun things you can do with FanDuel. Why, you can go with your money line bets to your point spreads, and of course, we all love our player props. And you can even combine your bets for a chance at an even bigger payout with a same-game parlay, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with promo code BOB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-993-8014. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-993-8014. 800-993-8014.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Smooth skin begins with hydrating ingredients.
Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion nourishes your skin with all-day hydration for deeply moisturized results that give you confidence like buttery soft shoulders like and visibly smooth skin like. Quench your skin with nourishing moisture from Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion. Try Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash, too, and get skin your face will envy.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget. The power of experience. We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get the power of pro.
CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Home improvement contract registration numbers are available at CertaPro.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed. And a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Drexel basketball is here. Join fans from across Philly as our men's and women's teams host Division I rivals from around the country, right here on Market Street in the Daskalakis Athletic Center, which we call the DAC. This premier arena is one of the most intimate in the city. Now, we're bringing fans even closer to the action with a new state-of-the-art Jumbotron and a court-shaking audio system designed to make Dragons roar. For tickets, go to drexel.edu/Dragon Tickets. Because game time can't wait.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You used to associate crickets with silence. But since you bought a house in the suburbs, you know crickets hate silence. If any other creature realized rubbing its legs together made a piercing, high-pitched noise, they might think, maybe I won't do that. Constantly, all night long. Luckily, you can save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. Now that's something to make noise about. Just not constantly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Shop 15 dealers with in-stock boats ready to deliver at the Philly Boat Show, January 27 through 29 at the Expo Center at Oaks. Details at phillyboatshow.com.
We all know Philly sports is big business, and we've got you covered every weekday with the Fanatic's Business of Sports reports that are powered by Pico for Business. For information on how your company can save with Pico's incentives, go to pico.com/business.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes, welcome to our house is what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be saying to either the San Francisco 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys come 3 o'clock next Sunday as the NFC Championship game gets ready to kick off. That will be what's going on then. Now, though, a full 7 days prior to that, we are awaiting the opponent. We're still waiting to see. Now, the Eagles are sitting feet up, resting.
Stress-free.
Feeling pretty damn
Not
good
just
about
them,
what
but
they
us
did.
as well.
Yeah.
Fans out there.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course they are. Feeling great about what they did last night. I mean, look at the other playoff games, right? Look at Kansas City, Jacksonville. I understand that Patrick Mahomes was a little bit banged up in that one. We'll see what the high ankle sprain ends up being for them because that's a blow if he's hobbled. He seemed like a different quarterback than what he was when he was healthy at the start of that game. Tight game. The Bills-Dolphins. I mean, I don't think there was ever super doubt that the Bills were going to end up on top, but the Dolphins went into halftime leading. The Seahawks I think the Bills scored late, had like a late
regardless,
field
it was
goal to
close
put them up,
the
but it was
entire
close.
game. Yeah.
The Seahawks definitely went into halftime leading on the 49ers at Levi Stadium. It's the Levi's?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Doesn't matter. We won't be playing there.
Who cares? So the Cowboys, I mean, they played a tight game. Like, you're looking at a situation where
that was That was probably the biggest blowout.
I was hoping people forgot.
All right. I was like,
I was just going to speak it into existence. No,
Okay.
but Tom Brady's washed, and that Bucs team shouldn't have even been in the playoffs. Shout out the NFC South, the strong division of them. But no, that you look at that team, and that team didn't really belong. But that's probably the next closest performance to what the Eagles did last night. They look so much better than every other team playing right now. They really do. I get the 49ers had that great second half against Seattle, but when I look at the Eagles, they're just different. They are.
They are the only team that has looked dominant against a team that has won a playoff game.
Correct. Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah, they're the only team that has looked dominant.
Thank you for helping me land the plane there a little bit.
I got that. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, I knew there was a reason there.
But seriously, go ahead.
No, after you.
No, seriously, they've looked dominant. They've looked like the 14-1 team or 13-1, I think it was before Hurts went down. That 13-1 team that we saw the first 14 games of the season. That's what they looked like yesterday when we went through that 3-game span against the Packers and the Titans and the same Giants, where they scored like 116 points in 3 games, and it wasn't close in any of those games. That's what it looked like yesterday, and that's the biggest thing. What's important about the NFL is getting hot at the right time. We were worried a little bit of the Eagles peaking too early when it came to that 3-game stretch, which was week 12 to 14.
Yeah, we talked about it on postgame.
Yeah.
Are they peaking too early?
Correct.
Was the topic.
Seems like they're peaking right about now after a 38-7 win.
They have not yet begun to peak. Not yet begun.
Everyone in Philadelphia will feel it. But seriously,
not always sunny.
Love it. They're peaking at the right time now, even though we thought 2 months ago that maybe they're peaking a little bit too early.
Yeah, and you know what? Regardless of who comes out of this game in the 49ers-Cowboys matchup, I can't see a blowout. I can't. Those are two quality teams. It's not like
an Eagles blowout. Like that.
No. I can't see either of those teams blowing each other out.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I don't see the 49ers hanging 40 on the Cowboys and beating them 40-10. Yeah. I don't see the Cowboys going on the road and winning that game by 25.
It's -4 on the road in San Francisco. San Francisco is -4. So Cowboys are going on the road.
So basically you're looking at a 1-point line.
Exactly.
You get the 3 for being the home team typically.
I'd be shocked if that game is won by double digits by either team.
So that's my point. I don't think we're going to see anything today where it's oh my goodness, that team's terrifying. What the Eagles did last night should be terrifying. There should be a couple other NFL teams, the ones remaining, shaking when they watch the highlights of last night's game thinking, how the hell do we stop them? But hey, we get the luxury because you had the Saturday night game and you took care of business and you're sitting in the NFC Championship game and you're the home team of sitting at home and saying, hey, who do we want? And playing the who do we want game. I want the San Francisco 49ers. Tom wants the Dallas Cowboys. Who do you out there want? 610-632-0975. Also, we haven't forgotten. I know it's 11 o'clock. Cheese Ball of the Week. We are going to do it. But we want to run through a couple calls here real quick. We will get into it a little bit later in this segment. A couple good potential nominees for Cheese Ball of the Week this week. But let's go back to the phone lines. Talk to Andrew in Phoenixville, who's been waiting patiently. Andrew, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great, man. You sound a little hoarse. Were you yelling a lot last night?
A little bit. Actually, I had my daughter, who's 8 years old, huge Eagles, took a nap yesterday, and then we woke up around 8 o'clock together to watch the full game. So she watched the entire game all the way up until 11.
That's great.
And then put her to bed. So she absolutely enjoyed the game. She loved it. Perfect game all around. Every facet of the game yesterday, special teams, offense, defense. It could not have been any better. If we play like that every single down, for next week and, potentially in the Super Bowl, there's no other team that can stop us. They are just absolutely exceptional last night. Lane Johnson, I was watching him on trying to watch him on every play. He did very well with his injury. He didn't look like he was struggling at all. Jalen Hurts was, passing the ball very cleanly, getting out of the pocket, sliding when he needed to, getting out of bounds when he needed to. He was a very smart player last night. The offensive line was perfect. There was nothing that really concerned me at all yesterday. The only stupid thing, and I will never understand this rule in the rule book, is an eligible man downfield. I will never understand that penalty because the fact is it is so stupid. It has nothing to do with the play whatsoever, and I just will never understand it. I wish someone could explain it to me how that someone is 1 or 2 yards downfield can affect another play that happened 20 yards away. I will never understand it.
The short answer, Andrew, is it doesn't. The NFL just likes to, in their competition meetings in the offseason, they talk to the referees, and they say, hey, we're putting a point of emphasis on this because we watched last year's games, and a lot of teams got away with a certain penalty that should have been called. And then the officials go overboard, and they call it too much. So that's what's happening. The short answer is it doesn't affect the game, and it shouldn't be called.
No, absolutely not. So, but honestly, for the game today, I would like to see the 49ers play. I don't think Dak Prescott deserves to be in the NFC Championship with how he's been playing with all his receptions. Honestly, we don't like Dallas. I hate Dallas. I kind of, wish they would just go back to the AFL instead. And
would love that. So are you rooting for the 49ers, or you want the 49ers?
I'm rooting for the 49ers because I really would like to see it. I would like to see an East Coast, West Coast game. And I would like to see how well they do with a week, obviously traveling across country, how well they do with they're playing against us in the Link, because the Link is such a terrifying stadium to play in, 70,000 screaming, and it is loud in there. So I would love to see the 49ers come out on top.
Sounds great, Andrew. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, man.
Andrew's daughter is very, very lucky because she has an incredibly intelligent dad who knows that the 49ers are the right team to root for in today's game. We never root for Dallas. What are we doing root for Dallas? Come on now, folks. 610-632-0975. Let's jump back to the phones and talk to Ari in Warminster. Ari, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Couldn't be any better, Ari.
I was down at the game last night. I actually went to the last home divisional game in 2018, the Super Bowl year, the Atlanta Falcons win. This was a lot more relaxing and enjoyable and fun. I mean, yeah, it was fun that we won the Falcons game, but it was a little stressful. But, dude, the stadium was awesome. People were just yelling at Giants fans all night. When the Giants fans started leaving in the third and fourth quarter, they were just hearing it from the fans. It was hilarious. Like, it was just an awesome atmosphere last night.
Oh, man, dude, it's amazing. I'll tell you, Ari, I was at the NFC Championship game, and the Vikings won, and it was that type of feel. So the fact that I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing to get that opportunity for a stress-free playoff game that means so much. For the fact that it happened again is amazing. So I'm glad you enjoyed your time. You tailgate? How early did you get down there?
I actually was working until about 5 o'clock, and then headed down. I took the train down, which that was crazy too.
Smart move though, compared to trying to drive in there at that time.
Yeah, no. I either get down really early, or if I'm like coming down later, then I just take the train down. But yeah, it was it's still a good time. I mean, the feeling was great. And for the championship game, I can never root for Dallas. I will never root for Dallas. However, if they come in here, I think we're going to give it to them. I'm not worried, honestly, about either team. After what I saw last night, honestly, anybody that the Eagles play, I feel like they have a real good shot to win, whether it's the NFC or in the Super Bowl against the Bills or Chiefs or Bengals. I mean, they looked like in top form last night all around, and it was just a real spectacle to watch. I mean, the Giants looked like they had no idea what to do. Like Daniel Jones running for his life. Except for that one big run, Saquon was really not a factor. It was just really impressive, and I don't really care who wins today. I think the Eagles are going to win no matter what.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I'm with you and appreciate the call, man.
Thanks, man.
Get some rest. Long night for everyone who was at the game last night. And he was working yesterday, too. Work on a Saturday, right into the NFC Divisional Round game. It's a busy day.
Yes, it is.
But I see, Ari said what I'm saying, too. Like, I'm not afraid of these teams. I'm not afraid of the Cowboys. I think the Eagles win. I just don't want to give them a chance. I don't want them to even have the opportunity. I don't want them to even get a shot. And I can't root for Dallas to win because the implication is if you want to see the Cowboys, that means today in a NFC divisional playoff game, you are rooting for the Dallas Cowboys to win. My constitution will not allow me to do that.
Just because I would rather match up with the Cowboys next week because I think they were an easier opponent to beat than the San Francisco 49ers does not mean I am going to the store and buying a Cowboys jersey. Does not mean I'm buying
You're wearing
pom-poms.
a Dak Prescott jersey
Is that
right
what it
now
is?
under that Kelsey jersey.
Like,
I saw it.
Just because I would rather face the team that I believe is the lesser talent doesn't mean I'm rooting for them. I can't stand the Cowboys. Every time they do something good, I don't like it. I hate it, to be exact. But when it comes down to it, I see an easier way to the Super Bowl. That's what it comes down to. I see an easier path to the Super Bowl. You disagree because of the quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. I think right now on this date, I don't think it's that big of a difference between those two quarterbacks with how they've been playing. So to me, I want the easier path to the Super Bowl. I want the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm like you. I think we're beating anyone, regardless of who comes in here to Philadelphia, whether it's 49ers or the Cowboys next week.
Let's go to Stan. I believe this is Stan in Drexel Hill coming up next. Stan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Stan? How you doing, bud?
Yeah, listen, I'm doing fantastic. I've said this many a times. I felt like our fandom has this thing sometimes about they're scared to be wrong, and they rather be right. So, like, what I mean by that is when it comes to, like, with the Ben Simmons things and the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Joel Embiid, all these things have happened where people say they're not going to do this, that, and the third. And when things are going up, they give you, the bottom's about to fall out.
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism, right, Stan?
Right.
And we have it here for whatever reason.
I'm not like that. When I'm wrong, especially when it comes to my team, I have no problem. No problem eating my words.
Sounds like you got an apology to make.
I'm apologizing to the fans. I'm apologizing to the team because even though I felt like we were the better team and we were going to win, I said this yesterday. I didn't think it was going to be a cakewalk. And them Eagles picked up the cake and threw it in my face. That's what they did.
Listen, it's fun to be wrong like that, though, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I've never loved being so wrong in my life. And it's like, because my thing was, besides the whole, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, whatever, I've always said when it comes to playoffs, the NFL playoffs scare me more than any other sport because it's not a series.
Right?
Because every other sport, for the most part, baseball, basketball, hockey, like, you have to beat somebody 4 times to show that you're better than them, right?
Correct.
In the NFL, I just need to be better than you 1 time. 1 time. You just be off your game 1 time. And I keep bringing it up. I love Nick Foles. Nick Foles, what he did for the city, for the Eagles, it's never going to be forgotten. We know he's not a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But for that one day, 5 years ago, he was. Right? That's what it was. He was better than Tom Brady.
And that's all it takes, right, Stan?
That's all it takes. So when you're playing a Giants team that even though you're better than them, you're saying to yourself, man, I saw a Giants team who was 9-7 a few years, a while ago, go to the Super Bowl. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening again, but what if it does? Because
you never know.
Right? And so that's what my hesitation was. But I'm here to tell you, as I stand right here, I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. Apology accepted, Stan. It happens.
I'm cool with it.
It happens.
And I'm looking at it too. And then you look at, not to shift gears off, because I feel like the Sixers have been sneaking in behind the Eagles. The Eagles are doing all this stuff, and the Eagles are right behind them. Like, yo, I'm right behind you, bro. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Because
I got
won
you.
5 in a row.
They're like drafting off the success.
18-4 in their last 22.
Last night, I'm going to tell you, this is my last point. Last night, I watched the Eagles game, and I'm hyped. And then, I'm looking over at the score. Sixers were down by like 20 at one point. And I'm like, okay, last game on a road trip, no Embiid, no Harden. You were already 4-0. I get it. Scheduled type of loss, whatever. And then I'm watching, next 86 all. Sixers pulling away. Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Anthony Melton. All these guys coming, and these guys pull off a win. 5-0 road trip. 5-0.
And the Kings are a good team this point in the season.
Third in the West.
Yep.
So they're not it's not a scrub team.
Nope.
And I'm like, yo, the only thing that could make this weekend even better, I get what you're saying about matchup-wise. I need the Cowboys to lose.
I'm with you. Thank you, Stan.
I would never want them to do anything. I wish them nothing but no success, no nothing. I don't want you to have no chance. No, I don't want you to even sniff a conference championship game. Nothing at all. They need to bottom out and just go away because these fans, their fans, I need their fans to suffer. That's what I need.
Yes, Stan.
I need them to suffer.
See, that's a smart man. I appreciate the call,
Thanks,
Stan. Your apology is very much accepted. It happens. Listen, I know he thought the Eagles were going to win, but it was going to be a tighter game. There are plenty of people that were saying, hey, don't disrespect the Giants. They've earned the right to play against you. They're the lesser opponent, but they're in the game for the reason. They went into Minnesota and beat a 13-win football team that was fugazi as anything. And if you listen to anything I told you, I said that was a lock loss for the Minnesota Vikings. I believe Tom Alvord owes me a little vending machine treat based on a bet we made.
I believe I owe you two.
No. I didn't double or nothing.
No?
No, I don't think so.
That was...
We had a little text chain going where I said you offered me double or nothing.
And that was, I had a couple beverages at that point, so that's why I'm trying to ask for confirmation. But okay, that's fine. I'll just buy you one.
I don't think it was ever actually agreed upon double or nothing. So
Fair enough.
I'll just take one. And you know what? I'm not even going to go top shelf like $1.75. I'm going to go probably something like $1.50 or
What a
below.
stand-up guy you are.
I'm just a good person like that.
How about that?
Listen, no one will tell you they're a good person like me about me. But 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. And Stan, another smart caller. We have a lot of smart callers today. Don't root for the Cowboys today. You're better than that, Philadelphia. We're going to beat either of these teams. And if the Cowboys do end up winning, we're going to whoop them too. They're going to come in here, and they're going to catch these hands because the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football. But that would require you rooting for the Cowboys today in a divisional round game. You're essentially rooting for the Cowboys to make the NFC Championship game. I can't do that. I cannot allow myself to do that. Nothing in me and how I was raised will allow me to root for that. So, San Francisco it is. Am I convincing you at all, Tom?
No, dude, I'm not going to be sitting there rooting for him. I am going to watch that entire game without pumping a fist at any point because one team does something that I enjoy. No, I'm not going to do that at all.
Break out my Brock Purdy jersey. Let's go.
If the Dallas Cowboys lose today, I will be extremely happy. Because it's another failed season for the Dallas Cowboys, another failed season for Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, another failed season. I will be over the moon with happiness. If they find a way to win, I'm not shaking in my boots about them coming here because I believe that is the easier matchup of the two. So as much as I would love for them to lose today, if they happen to win, I'm okay with it because I know we're going to beat them next week.
I got you. We're going to push Cheeseball of the Week till 11:30, so we'll do it on the other side of the break that we have coming up. Let's go back to the phones and talk to our friend VT Ron. VT Ron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Boys, how are you feeling today?
Listen, Ron,
I've been worse, Ron.
Yeah, you know how we're feeling. We're feeling awesome.
Hey, dude, I got to drive another 9 hours to Myrtle Beach, so what do you think of that? But I'm going home happy.
Listen, keep the radio station on. We're going to keep you happy the whole way down there. It's an awesome
man,
day.
Just kick it. Just kick it. I got to tell you, I don't care who wins, either San Francisco or Dallas. I don't care who wins, but I'm on the same train as I think Connor's saying. I don't like the Dallas Cowboys winning at all.
Correct.
And that comes from an old-timer. I don't want to see them win. I agree. I think we're the better team. I think we match up better against Dallas. But I want them to lose today. I just want them to lose. Bring San Francisco in. Bring Purdy in. Because I'm going to tell you, the game planning yesterday was amazing. That game plan on both sides of the ball, and I got to give Gannon credit. I'm not a Gannon guy, but I got to give Gannon credit on how he did. Plus, Hassan Reddick played out of his mind, and that was all part of the game plan. Did you see one thing? I'm going to point this out, and then I'll give a chance to other callers. Did you see after the touchdown? I think when they went up, was it the 20? Maybe went up 21-0.
Who scored it?
They lined up on the 2-yard line and tried to draw the Giants offside.
Oh, for the 2-point
conversion.
Yes.
How brilliant was that? I've never seen that.
Sirianni, he's a great coach.
That shows it right there. He thinks above, he thinks out of the box.
Another example of that real quick, it's 3rd and 1, I believe. They line up for a QB sneak that the Eagles have done all season long with Jalen Hurts. What do? A little toss pass out. They get 5 yards on 3rd and 1.
Well, we walked out. After they turned the ball over, I think there was 2:59 to go. And we walked out of the stadium. Then we heard the roar. I think it was Gainwell, right?
Yeah,
Gainwell,
long run for Gainwell.
A long run. We missed that. So I'll watch on there. But listen, boys, this is going to be another great week. Whether it's San Francisco, whether it's Dallas, I got to put some more gas in the car next week. and I'm up there. Hey, boys, go Birds!
Go Birds, Ron. That's right, man. Drive
Love
safe.
it. Yes,
Travel
drive
safe
safe.
down there. Appreciate the energy. That's awesome from VT Ron taking his trip back down to Myrtle Beach following his trip up for the game. A lot of people in town for the game.
I'm sure he's had worse 9-hour drives in his life.
I'm sure he's had plenty worse because this is a damn good one after your team plays like that. And plenty of fun stuff to still talk about. We have Cheese Ball of the Week coming up on the other side. More of your phone calls as well. 610-632-0975. It's Connor Thomas. It is Tom Alvord. We have your Eagles reaction to the team advancing to the NFC Championship game. We'll be back right after this here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. All offers on approved credit. Plus tax tags $452.
New year, new car.
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess.
Easy, boy. Here we go.
New year, new car.
And they're off.
World-famous Gary Barberas is storming out of the gate, and you can too in America's favorite from $12,990. Yes, from $12,990.
It's our first sale of the year with
Jeep's cheap.
And that's why Birds coach Nick picks Barbera.
Boy, I guess.
Just $199 down for only $199 a month. Gary Barbera discounts Jeeps cheap.
Oh yeah, DallasStillSucks.com.
New year, new car.
It's our first sale of the year. Going Cherokee.
Crazy? Shop rows and rows of Borbeck in the Boulevard. Jeeps cheap. Just $199 down for only $199 a month.
Right, Birds coach Nick?
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess. Go Birds.
DallasStillSucks.com.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You'll receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Hey, it's pro football playoff time. It's the best time of the year. John Kincaid telling you it's been a great year for the Birds, and I want you to join the action in the BetParx Sportsbook and Casino app. It's got you and me covered for pro football playoffs. Plus, with pro and college hoops and so much more, you get the odds, the bets, the slots, and the games right there in the palm of your hand. And it's safe, it's secure, and it's easy to use. The official sportsbook for the real Philly sports fan. I know this. You can bet on more than just the score. Individual player performances let you cash in, and live in-game wagering lets you bet during the game. So come on in and join me on the BetParx app. And new users can get up to $750 in sportsbook bonus back if your first bet isn't a winner. So download it today and start playing instantly with the BetParx Sportsbook and Casino app. Now you got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. See BetParx.com to get full terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Every small business owner knows business can happen anytime, anywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started with internet for just $49 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to $1,000 in prepaid cards.
Flight 291 is now.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EagleBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet. Customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile Savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking.
They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Save up to 80% when you file with TaxSlayer. Start for free.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Stop into your neighborhood AAA Car Care Center for a winterization package and get a tire rotation, standard oil change, new windshield wipers, and a fluid check. All for just $64.99. Only at AAA Car Care Centers. See store for details.
Before you place your bets on this weekend's games, get free picks from the experts at freewinners.net. Simply text the word free to 313-GET-INFO for your free picks. That's the word free to 313-GET-INFO.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere. On Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. Philly sports. We're born into it. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Oh,
you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
11:30 here, 97.5 The Fanatic. This segment is about to get interesting.
Yes, it is.
What Tom was just telling me in the break was just going back and forth with Kevin Cooney, who's going to be coming on next with D. Lineham. And they're, of course, going to be talking all your bird stuff, who you want to play. And Kevin said I was insane for wanting the 49ers over the Dallas Cowboys, which I understand matchup-wise everything he was saying. And he'll have a chance to speak his piece when they're on. They'll have you from noon to 3. So they'll have you coming up when we get done with the segment. And, I mean, I understand the argument for wanting the Cowboys. I get it. And who's the better roster? The 49ers. And I don't think I have any trouble saying that. But I look at the quarterback and I say I'd rather face Brock Purdy. I don't see either of those teams coming in here and beating the Eagles. So if I think the Eagles can beat both teams, and I see a quarterback on one of the teams that I don't have any faith in to win a big game on the road, considering he was drafted dead last in the draft this past year, a rookie drafted dead last. I can't root for the Cowboys in that circumstance or want them to be there and give them a breath of life. I want their season to end. And it doesn't have to be at the hand of the Eagles. I just want it over. I want them dead.
I understand you. I get you. I will not be rooting for the Cowboys today at all. I hope that their season ends with another nightmare ending of them not accomplishing anything. However, as I mentioned before, and how I know a lot of people feel out there, and I know there's people that feel your way as well, when it comes down to it, they are the lesser roster, and something that Kevin Cooney brought up that we didn't mention, more poorly coached, or I guess not as great of a head coach, I would say.
No, you can say more poorly. Mike McCarthy's not a good head coach.
When you match up Mike McCarthy and Kyle Shanahan, they're not on the same stratosphere. So
Yeah.
I would much rather face a guy like Mike McCarthy, have him come in here in Philadelphia when he hasn't accomplished anything in the playoffs. And you could say that about Kyle Shanahan, too, because, of course, Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl. Oh, by the way, he had the best quarterback talent maybe ever. So when I look at it, that's the reason I would rather see Dallas next week. But I am not in any way rooting for the Cowboys today.
610-632-0975. We're going to do Cheese Ball of the Week in just a second, and then we'll get back to the phones. I do want to let you know this weekend's programming is presented by H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for qualified buyers on a new HVAC system from H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit delcohvac.com for an estimate today. It is time for Cheese Ball of the Week. Now, Tom, I will let you go first if you're not familiar with this. We do it when we're 9 to noon, so we don't do it on Eagles post games, obviously, because that's Eagles post game.
Not
Since
time.
this is our 9 to noon show,
Time and place.
we're going to go ahead and do it. And there were plenty of potential nominees this week. Basically, someone who was the biggest cheese ball this week. And Tom will give his nominee, and I'll give mine, and we will get a vote from the next caller up, and we will have a winner named for Cheese Ball of the Week of this week. And I have a little something special planned. So, Tom, I'll allow you to go first, and then we'll have a first in Cheese Ball of the Week history.
Okay, looking forward to it. My Cheese Ball of the Week, and we're going to go relatively quick on this because we know we want to get to everybody out there. There's this man named Brian Walsh that was trending this past week.
Well, we're getting dark with this, huh?
A little dark. I don't want to make fun of the situation or anything like that. I want to make fun of this person because not only is he a terrible person, but he is also an idiot. Brian Walsh, if you haven't seen it, it was trending because of Funhouse. It's like one of those Twitter accounts or something.
Yeah.
He committed murder, which is not funny in any way.
Nope, murder is very bad.
Pretty bad. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be willing to wager more than pretty bad.
Yeah, you'd probably
Very
be correct
bad.
on that wager.
Don't murder people.
It's what happened when he was in court and his Google searches following what happened here. And I don't know if anyone out here has seen this. So he's at court, going to jail for hopefully the rest of his life, which is going to happen. And they read out his Google searches from this moment after the incident goes down. 6:34 a.m. Can you throw body parts away? 9:34. What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment of the best ways to dispose a body. How to clean blood from a wooden floor.
That sounds pretty guilty to me.
What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them? How long for someone to be missing before you can inherit? This is a man who is a scumbag and a terrible person and deserves to go to jail for the rest of his life, but you are also a moron. An absolute moron, because you are going to search that on Google on your home phone, like it's 1990, on your home computer, your laptop, whatever it is, your cell phone. So that's why you, Mr. Walsh, are not only a awful, awful human being and are going to rot somewhere, you are also this week's Cheese Ball of the Week, the darkest Cheese Ball of the Week that we have had, Connor Thomas, on this beautiful, light day here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, thanks for
You're welcome,
thanks
buddy.
for bringing the murder into the program.
You're welcome.
That's,
Absolutely.
Cheese Ball of the Week.
I mean, it wasn't because of the incident. It was because of what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Okay, that guy who Googled all that bad stuff and definitely killed somebody. Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. My Cheese Ball of the Week. I'm going to need an assist from Dan Fritz on this one. We're having our first ever call-in for Cheese Ball of the Week.
Uh-oh.
We have a caller. I sent his number to Dan. A wonderful caller. Can't say enough good things about Tyrone from Camden, who decided he was going to call the morning show and yell for like 10 minutes absolute nonsense about the Cowboys because, the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers last weekend. And guess who's not calling today? Or going to be calling at all? Because the Eagles went out and absolutely took care of business. He was talking trash, saying, the Eagles stink, they're one and done, they're terrible, this, that, and the other thing. Because rat Cowboys fans, they run and hide. But guess what? We're not letting them run and hide. Dan, do me a favor. Jump on the phone and give our buddy Tyrone a call. Tyrone from Camden. Phone's ringing. 2-1. dude doesn't answer.
Okay.
Let me know if this guy actually picks up and see if he wants to show his face. I guess you can't really show your face because it's on the phone. But if he wants to actually stand behind his words about the Eagles being one and done. Anything, Dan? No? Oh, no way. You're telling me the cockroach Cowboy fan didn't pick up to talk about the Eagles looking like the best team in football last night? That's right. Yeah, of course. Of course he did. Of course they don't. Because Cowboys fans run and hide. They like to talk before anything happens, and they like to talk all this trash. And Tyrone from Camden, habitual offender, just, you know what? That's perfect that he didn't answer. It's almost better than if he had picked up. Because my cheese ball of the week is Tyrone from Camden.
Poetic, if you will.
And did you happen to hear Stephen A. Smith's thoughts on the subject?
I know how Stephen A. Smith feels about Cowboys fans. I'm very, very familiar.
I have the audio.
Oh, you do have the audio?
Give me a second.
Yeah, okay. We'll go ahead and grab that. But that is my that's my nominee for cheese ball of the week. All the Rat Cowboys fans. And poor Tyrone. Maybe he's busy preparing for their game that they still have to play while the Eagles have their feet up. And we're laughing here in Philadelphia saying, hey, we'll take whoever. Doesn't matter. I mean, I think the Cowboys lose today. And you know what? If they win, I'll be back on these airwaves tomorrow talking about it, saying, well, hey, we'll see you here. Because we're real fans in Philadelphia. We're not run and hide and only talk before good things happen or after bad things happen. No. We're going to defend this team, good or bad. Unlike those Rat Cowboys fans like Tyrone from Camden.
Would you like to know the last time that the Cowboys played in the NFC Championship game?
Please let me know.
John Foley on Twitter. Great follow.
2008 Phils,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. January 21st, 1996. Jalen Hurts was born August 7th, 1998.
Yep.
That is the last time the Cowboys have played it in an NFC Championship game.
Love that. You got the audio? Let me get a little Stephen A. Smith Cowboys hate real quick.
Listen, if a nuclear bomb dropped, there would only be three things that would survive: rats, roaches, and a Cowboys fan. That's who they are. I mean, they just come out of everywhere. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. They're the champions of back pages and headlines and storylines and all that stuff. They're the champions of everything that doesn't have anything to do with the football field. But when they're on the football field, they ain't no champions for the last 27 years. But they are a formidable team. They could beat anybody. I don't see it happening, but they could.
There you have it. Yep. Nuclear bomb doesn't matter. They'll still be Cowboys fans. But listen, apparently they can't answer their phone when the Eagles play well. Maybe service got shut off or something. I don't know. I'm sure if the Cowboys win, we might hear something from them this week. But yeah, that's my cheese ball. So the way this works, we're going to go to our next caller, and they will pick between the two nominees, and we will go ahead and see who gets top cheese ball billing for the week. Let's go back to the phone. 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. Charlie in Southern California is on the phone. Charlie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes. Good morning. Out here anyway. I just want to comment first on Tom's position on the most important thing in football being the quarterback. Quarterback absolutely is critical to execution. But I think the planning that goes in each week is different after watching lots of film, and for this management group of the team to put a plan together each week, that the quarterback and the team that execute is a big part of why they win or why they don't win.
Yeah, Charlie, I'll tell you what, and you'll get your full time. I agree with you. I think outside of the quarterback, like my 1B would be the coaching staff. And mainly the head coach as far as what determines success for a football team. So I agree with you. I just put the quarterback a little bit higher because they have to execute the game plan.
Certainly what the differentiating factor is how a quarterback executes. And you don't win Super Bowls without a high-level quarterback. So you're absolutely right there. In terms of the Cowboys, all I'll say is that I would rather see – I think the Eagles are going to win everything. I would rather see them do it on the backs of the Cowboys than anyone else. So,
okay. Hey, listen, that's fair, Charlie. And a lot of people feel that way. I don't want them to have the opportunity to potentially win. Like, I don't even want it to exist in reality. I want them done this week. But I understand the thought process of wanting Dallas, and there's multiple reasons for it. That's why it's a fun conversation. Now, Charlie, you're our first caller since Cheese Ball of the Week, so I'm not sure if you heard while you were waiting on hold our nominees. But Tom's was the guy who Googled all the dumb stuff while he was on trial for murder that very much implicated him to it. And mine was the Cowboys fans, and specifically one Cowboys fan who calls the station a bunch, who who just refuses to talk after the Eagles play well or if the Cowboys play bad. So who do you pick as the more apt cheeseball of the week, Charlie?
Well, certainly the guy who documented how to essentially kill murder. That's very heinous and sick. But the Cowboys fan, I vote on the guy who doesn't have the backbone to call it.
Okay, well there you have it. The Cowboys fan goes ahead and wins. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. Yeah, Cowboys fans are no. I'm not gonna. We're not gonna go into that any deeper. You had to make the show dark.
I just
Tom.
wanted to keep you on your toes, dude. That's
Come on,
it,
dude.
You've been having too much fun today. I needed to cool you off a little bit.
I'm allowed to have fun.
That's all right.
This is fun. Yeah. The Eagles, we're having fun here. The Eagles are heading to the NFC Championship game. Dallas is gonna lose today. We're having fun. And you just gotta go ahead and do all that. Okay, well I'll take the cheese ball of the week win again.
Real quick, because I think, what he mentioned is that he believes that game planning and coaching is more important. And I'm with you. That's probably 1B when it comes down to it. But in a game, in a one-play scenario, do or die, win or go home, make this throw, the quarterback, in my opinion, is always going to be the most important when it comes to a single game. And good quarterback play can outweigh good coaching, more so than good coaching can outweigh bad quarterback play. Good quarterback. Bad quarterback.
Yeah, I just see it. It starts and ends with the quarterback for me.
Yeah.
I know I said it's the coaching has a factor, and they're probably 1B because it's important. That relationship, that duality between quarterback and coach, they have to be on the same page. They have to both be good. It's the only possible way to get to a point where you win the Super Bowl. It's not the only possible way. Every once in a while, someone will catch lightning in a bottle, and you'll have weird stuff happen, but that's once in a generation. Really, it's great quarterback, great coach pairing wins Super Bowls. And for me, quarterback is 1 overall, and then coaching comes after that. But it's a fair point by Charlie that coaching is also important. Hey, guess what? The Eagles have both.
Yes, they do.
The Eagles certainly.
They should have the MVP of the league and potentially the coach of the year in the same season. So, yeah, that's a pretty good sign that they have both there, Connor Thomas.
Yes, a lot of things going the Eagles' way right now. 610-632-0975. Oh, we have another smart caller who wants the 49ers next week. It looks like Steve from Manayunk is up next on the phone line. Steve, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much, Steve. Man. Just basking in the glory of an NFC championship game coming.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree with you. It was such a nice thing to be able to go out with my wife and just kind of calmly enjoy the second half, knowing that we're going to the NFC Championship. I was like, this is cruise control. But so and also, Tom, you're a crazy person. Anytime you give Dallas an opportunity to even sniff a Super Bowl, I'm out with that.
Thank you.
I'd rather see. I don't care. I'm with you, Connor, on that. I don't care who kills them. It's for me. If I'm a king and the Dallas is a king, I don't care who kills the other king. Just make sure they're dead.
Yes,
so
I agree.
My whole thing is I'd rather see a Mr. Irrelevant come in here, lose 3 hours of sleep, and come into a savage Lincoln Financial Field rather than watch an experienced Dak Prescott who has a phenomenal record against NFC East teams. I think he's 17-1 or something. I don't want to see that. I want to see a Mr. Irrelevant come in here, lose 3 hours of sleep, and play against a savage Lincoln Financial Field. That's what I'd rather see. I think it's the easiest path to the bird.
Man, listen, I'll let Tom talk because I can't agree with you more, Steve. Make your point, Tom. Why is Steve not correct? Because he sounds pretty smart to me.
You do sound smart, Steve. And again, when it comes down to the quarterback, yeah, you are absolutely right. I would much rather have Brock Purdy come in here, 7th-round rookie, last pick of the draft, have to come from the West Coast to Philadelphia and play in this environment. That is absolutely correct. And it is absolutely correct that the quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. But when it comes down to it, to me, I look at the roster that the San Francisco 49ers have. I look at the way that they play. And if there's one way to beat this Eagles team, it's control the ball and control time of possession. I believe that the San Francisco 49ers can do that with how good their running back is and their O-line has been, and defense getting pressure on Jalen Hurts. So when I look at who would I rather play in a one-game sample size to get to the Super Bowl, I would rather play the Dallas Cowboys because I believe they are an easier opponent than the San Francisco 49ers. But I can't argue with you.
No, I agree. But I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with you, though. I'm saying, because Dallas put up 40 points on the Birds the other week. And I know we had our backup quarterback in, but, Dak Prescott doesn't play our quarterback. Dak doesn't play Jalen. Dak plays our defense.
Sure,
So, like,
the Niners offense has been putting up some big-time numbers as well. Not against the Birds, but they have been putting up some big-time numbers as well on offense.
That's the thing. So like Dallas has the familiarity that they have with us. They kind of have a feeling like, okay, they tend to do this, tend to do that. Brock Purdy has never seen the Birds this year at all. Actually, he's never seen much.
And he hasn't seen a really good defense really at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to see him line up and see like Hassan Reddick and Fletcher Cox and the rest of the boys, BG and everybody, just like foaming at the mouth. He craps pants.
yes, absolutely, Steve. I agree. That's a great note to leave.
Great way to end it.
Great note to leave it on. Yes.
By the way, Dak Prescott.
He'd be Brock Turdy.
By the way, Dak Prescott has a record of 8-3 versus
that one.
that wasn't bad. Versus the Eagles in his career. 8-3 versus the Eagles in his career. His last couple meetings, QB rating 124, 151, 143. Last three. So, he plays pretty well. But I also have seen Dak Prescott in big-time moments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of Dak Prescott. They
Sounds
win
like
that game.
A little bit.
No, I'm not.
Just a little bit.
I'm not. I don't want the Cowboys to get a chance. I think the Eagles win. I'm not giving them the chance. Lose to the 49ers. We'll beat Brock Turdy, and then we'll end up in the Super Bowl.
You're just going to run with that now?
Absolutely.
You're definitely saying that tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. I'll drop a Brock Turdy tomorrow.
I know it's coming.
Yes. I'll rip it. You know what? You know what else is great, too? As we get ready to hand it over to Kevin Cooney and D. Lynham, who are going to be coming up top of the hour. They'll have you from noon to 3. Ray Dunn after that from 3 to 6:30. And then you got some Flyers hockey following up their they won yesterday.
Yes, they did.
So shout out the Flyers. They're actually in the running for a wild card spot. So
turn the season around.
Listen, man, when one team starts winning in this city, it could breed more. But
infectious.
And that's your Flyers talk for the day. But one thing that I want to bring up that's outside the realm of who you want to play to, that just kind of, it's funny comparison. We've been comparing this team a lot to 2017 because of the dichotomy, the 38-7 on the same day, 5-year anniversary of the 38-7 NFC Championship game over Minnesota.
The jump they've made second year.
Second year head coach, second year starting quarterback, even though Hurts is technically third year in the league. A lot of very similar things. A new wide receiver comes in, Alshon Jeffrey for that team, A.J. Brown for this team, good tight end. Like a lot of very similar things. And I know 2017, 2018 was our first. I know we'll always love it. And I don't want to say like any bad things about that team because it's your first love, right? That's your high school sweetheart. You're always going to have a special place in your heart for that 2017 team. But when I look at the key guys being head coach and quarterback, and I thought about this yesterday when Doug Peterson, there's the video going around on Twitter. Do you see him trying to hit the gritty?
Yes, I did see that.
It looked like he was
right?
Yes, it looked like he was just like hopping on one foot. Yes. Like 2017 was fun. How much cooler is this team though? Like you look at the quarterback. You go from Carson Wentz, and I know Nick Foles is awesome. Like it was great he did what he did, but Nick Foles wasn't exactly the essence of cool. To Jalen Hurts, like Jalen Hurts is so much cooler. When you look at like Nick Sirianni compared to Doug Peterson, like Doug was like fun uncle cool. Nick Sirianni's like he's like the young
fun cousin
head coach. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like he's the guy you'd hang out with. That you'd actually hang out with. Doug is the one that you're happy to see at a family reunion every once in a while. This is going to be our cool championship if they win it. Last one was the first one. But this is like, okay, this team got a little bit of swagger to it. And I know they were blasting Meek the whole time, and Malcolm Jenkins was the man, and that defense was awesome, and that team had swag too. I don't mean to like totally write off that team, but when I look at like the Jalen Hurts Nick Sirianni combination, going back to that head coach quarterback thing. They're so easy to root for. So awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first is usually the best, and you're always going to remember the first, especially with the way it happened with Nick Foles coming in and just how improbable that run was. And I know, obviously, we have work to take care of. They have to win next week, the Eagles do, and they have to win 2 weeks after that in the Super Bowl before we get deep into these conversations. And I know if it happens, there's going to be some comparisons of the two teams, of the two runs. They're both incredible. That 2017 team was absolutely incredible. It was so much fun. But when you look at this team, this is a team that it's not just going to be this year if it happens. This looks like a team that is set up for the next 5 years. And we thought that back in 2017 with Doug and Carson Wentz. And boy, were we wrong. But here, if they find a way to get it done this season, listen, man, it's kind of like the first of many at this point because of how well set up they are, honestly. So both incredible runs, still have business to take care of, but It could be in a worse position right now. I'll say that
You could certainly be in a worse
fan
position.
Of the National Football League and teams in the National Football League.
They're in a pretty damn good one right now. So let's say it together real quick. Let's go 49ers. No? Okay. Well, that's who I'm rooting for today. Some of you want Dallas. Either way, we're going to have an opponent come in here next weekend, Sunday, 3 o'clock, Lincoln Financial Field, NFC Championship game. That's just awesome. It's going to be a great environment. Was last night. It's going to be all day here on 97.5 The Fanatic. That's our time. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dan Fritz, on the board today. Thank you, Haley, for running the YouTube. Thank you to everyone who chatted, tweeted, texted, called, didn't pick up the phone when we called them because they're a Rat Cowboys fan. Thank you to everybody. And we'll talk to you next time here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.